and then he would trap me with his
with the egg circle or whatever.
and then
3 stamina bars.
No.
Dodge that shit.
No, because he drops the rocks all around you.
Yeah, I always ran out of it. Gotta go fast.
I felt like I agree with you. It was like inevitable. Like
I dodged it every time.
No way.
He never caught me.
God.
He never, and I realized like, the fool tried to catch me. Good luck, sucker.
And you found the gold sword and the white armor too.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Taco Otaku podcast. I'm Andy, and I'm going to be the primary host today, I suppose, and my first time, so bear with me. And to my right, we have the one, the only, the Ray.
Ray? Ooh.
Oh, wait,
the
yeah.
Ray. Am I like a superhero now?
Well, I was thinking more like Metal Gear Ray.
Oh,
there you go. There's something there. You could.
So then who's Arsenal? We gotta know who's Arsenal. Are you Arsenal? You are the main host, so maybe that makes you Arsenal.
I'm Arsenal.
Okay, so I got your back. I got your back,
thank
Andy.
you. Okay, I'm Metal Gear Arsenal, which is just a big ship, isn't it? Isn't it just a big ship?
But you're so powerful.
I'm just crushing New York.
Exactly.
I'm just crushing
New York. And I'm just there for the assist. I'm laying up the ball, and you're
and then you're just like, hey, I'm also a Metal Gear.
It's me, Metal Gear.
I'm much smaller. All right. And directly to his right and right in front of me is... Oh my gosh. What? I know your name.
Pop quiz time, Andy.
Oh my god. Frank. Yes. Son of a... All right, and then we have Frank directly in front of me, who is the
mysterious figure of the podcast.
Mysterious figure. I was going to say he was the Metal Gear Rex, but I totally fucked that up, Frank. I'm so sorry that I briefly forgot your name.
Don't worry.
I was just getting tripped up because I was
in the corner. He'll remember that.
Yeah, and yeah. So that we are the three talking today. We'll be doing the usual week, what our week was, what we've been watching and playing, and then the biggest feature, the main feature, is the news, which is also its own segment, but we're combining them because there's so much video game news.
E3 is not dead after all? ?
Yeah, and it's fragmented. I don't know. It's like E3 in spirit, just by virtue of a lot of video games being announced.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and that's what we got in store for us today. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going into what our weeks were.
We're doing our weeks.
We're doing our weeks. I'm gonna choose myself because I've been gone so long.
It has been a minute since we had you.
I'm gonna choose myself, and I guess. Well, I'll just start off with things that is not the main thing that I'm going to talk about, because the main thing is going to be a shared thing. It's Zelda. But I've been
spoilers.
I know. But yeah. I guess the biggest thing for me, and I don't know if any of you guys have watched this, I kind of finally decided to just get into Barry, the show Barry on HBO.
Oh,
I've seen some of it.
You have? Okay.
Yes.
Not you, Frank.
I need to watch season 4.
I've seen at least 2.
So you've seen...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, wow, yeah. I just started season 3 this morning, and it's good. I like it. I guess I have some reservations with it, but like all in all, it's like a solid like drama thriller. I think there's a lot of like checking your beliefs at the door. Like sometimes the show goes... Because you've seen season 2, right?
I want to say it's been a hot minute, but I want to say I've seen the first 2 seasons.
Did you see the one where Barry like beats up the dad and then the daughter goes after him, the little daughter?
The little fake karate?
The karate daughter. Do you remember that?
Sounds vaguely familiar. I will take whatever. Maybe I don't remember. It's been a minute.
Okay, so I guess what I was getting at with season 2, I think it's just, and I know it's like a dark comedy. There's a lot of dark moments, funny moments, but I think sometimes it's like a little too jarring in the one like feeling versus the other, because that episode I was mentioning, it kind of gets like a little crazy in a very not Barry sort of way. If I don't know if you know what I mean or if you agree, it's like it gets like too silly, whereas like Barry, it does silly things, but like it goes like beyond when the little girl's like a feral monster almost. And it's like, this seems like it to me, it felt like uncharacteristic of the show, where it was like, it almost felt like the show was like because I feel like it's sort of like, I guess it kind of toes the line of like being kind of Tarantino-esque sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that.
But like this was like full like Edgar Wright almost. Like it was, it felt like it was like
too much,
and like I almost thought like it was like directed by or written by someone completely different, but no, it was the same people. But no, yeah. Other than like the tonal shifts, like being sometimes a little too dramatic for me, I think it's a good show. I'm into it. I like. I mean, I think that the characters are great. Like I like I guess maybe biasly, I like that it's set in Hollywood, and I'm like, ooh, that's that.
Hey,
like,
I know that place.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I know where that is. I went by there, and I should go check that out or something. But no, yeah, I've been watching that. I know the 4th season did come out. So.
And is that one on, what is it? Not HBO now?
Not HBO. What? That's right. That's
Max. Is this? I don't know about this name change.
It should be called Not HBO.
Yeah. It honestly would probably do better.
No, yeah, it's just Max, which is
okay.
Fun.
You know, that name that people recognize as a brand recognition for decades. Just throw it all away. Throw it away. Max. That stands out.
Sure.
I make millions of dollars. Some paid millions of dollars to do this decision, and people more than that said yes. Good decision.
It is what it is, I guess. But yeah, that's mainly. I guess I've been watching just random movies here and there on Criterion. I love me some Criterion.
Such a fancy movie.
You know that is Frank Criterion.
No,
it's just like
exactly. Frank's the man of the people, and then there's the monocle Andy.
Yeah, it's very.
Carrying that Monopoly money wherever it goes.
Oh, this movie's from 1954, and it's only in French. And I loved it.
And there's no subtitles.
Yeah, and there's no subtitles. You have to know French to watch it. No.
Oh, my.
Yeah. No. Sometimes not far off from that, for sure. But yeah, no, that's mostly what I've been doing. But the big thing that I've been glued to, and I know you have both been, is I feel like I'm just like way in the past now because you guys have talked about it so much, is Tears of the Kingdom.
What's this now?
Yeah. And Miles, you said you finished it?
I don't know. Miles isn't here.
Oh my gosh, Frank. Jeez, Frank, you finished it.
I'm gonna wear a name tag.
Hello?
Wow. My brain is like jumbled. Wow. You're 3 people tonight.
Too much coffee.
Yeah. But yeah, so Frank, you said you finished it.
Yeah, I finished it. Well, I wanted to say something about Barry. Yeah, Barry, that episode was my favorite one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were going to go back to... Oh, okay.
Just that. It was my favorite one. And I do agree it's out of character for what the show mostly is. Mm-hmm. But I need to watch season 4, but I'm having problems streaming where I'll put it on the TV and it just lags all the time. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to give up and watch it on my phone.
Is it just like an internet thing?
I don't know. No. I have a problem with my internet because I don't know why we have internet, because we're not paying for internet.
Well, that's a mystery in itself.
Either way, I kind of been delaying watching the big stuff I want to watch because I'm like, I want to watch it on the big screen, but I don't want to watch it with it pausing every minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Barry. I'm just waiting for like a vacation or something, which should come up in July.
There you go.
And then Zelda, yeah, I finished it, and I don't know if we're gonna talk about it yet, but I finished.
I was ahead of it in the beginning, and then Frank caught up, as he always does. I don't know what. Let's ask you, Andy. What do you want to talk about in particular? Since I think you're behind both on the podcast and hours spent in this game.
Yeah, Well, there's a few things I wanted to. I was when I was hearing you guys talk about it, I was like, wait, you do you normally do 3 heart runs in like any Zelda game? Is that like your thing?
If it's possible, I do 3 heart runs, and the only reason I didn't do it this time, in the beginning, they kind of give you a heart
when you open the door.
You open the door,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then I think I mentioned it. I saw a video, and I'm like, wait, how does he have 3 hearts and he's down there?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it must be. They got me. But at the same time, I'm glad I didn't do 3 hearts because the enemies hit hard. I guess you guys haven't gotten to the ending, but I needed all my heart.
Oh, all right. We look forward to it, I guess.
Could you do a 3? Oh, I guess I'd have to see, but is it like possible? I mean, is it really hard?
You would have to do it without getting hit if you do it with 3 hearts.
Uh-huh.
Perfection.
You would have to do it almost without getting hit, even with like 10 hearts. But that, and I mean, that's kind of where it kind of depends how you played. Because I kind of just went and I got the stuff and I didn't really care about upgrading it. So I might have weak armor with so I don't know how much you upgraded your armor. So that's probably, I don't know, because I'm thinking the game was hard and then it was easy and then the ending was like, wow, now it's hard again. What's going on? So it's like, did I come here too soon?
Right.
Was I meant to, fully upgrade and then come here, or do I just suck now?
Was that with four hearts though? Was it?
No. Oh, I had 25 hearts.
Oh, okay. So this was a very rare occasion in which you didn't do 3 hearts. I guess that's just interesting to me that you. I don't know, how long have you been doing that? 3 hearts.
Woo. Since forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. That's hardcore.
Well, back in the day, I didn't have that many games, so I was like, well, I guess I'll play Zelda again. What can I do different?
Oh,
3 hearts.
Yeah, okay.
Although Link to the Past doesn't let you do 3 hearts either. But yeah, I remember playing. I even counted. I played Link to the Past 14 times.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, this time I'll have green armor, gold sword, and gold shield. And then, all right, now blue armor, blue sword, blue shield. All right, red armor, red sword, red shield.
Gotta change it up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why I was doing that, but I was like, yeah, maybe something else will happen.
Yeah,
never know.
I had dreams that like there was a secret white armor.
Oh yes, we've had this before.
And you've been chasing that dragon.
I've been chasing the dream.
One day it's gonna be there.
The white armor. Oh,
and
man.
And because of that dream, like especially in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I like, because I go through stages. Whenever I finish a dungeon, I switch up the color of my armor. Like I don't upgrade it, but I switch the color like 10 times. And when I was near the end, I'm like, oh, I gotta wear the white one now. I gotta wear it. This is it.
That's funny.
It's official.
Fulfill the prophecy. That's
exactly.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, but I guess my experience in general, I fucking love it. It's fucking great. I'm surprised that I'm liking it this much, because like I think a lot of it is, everyone had that perception like it's just another one of this. That's even
right.
I think I said that like on one of the last times I was on. I was like, I don't give a crap. And I'm just like laughing at my old self, like, you fucking idiot. Like, yeah, this is a really good game. And I feel like one of the things I get caught up doing, like, so I just finished, so I started it, and like I think I know you did it for sure. Was you go to the Rito village, because it says to go do that,
right?
Which is like the best thing, because it's like, how useful is that
ability?
It's like, oh my gosh, I get why they want you to do this, because it's like I'm zooming around the sky. It's so much fun to use that and like see how fast you're like, oh, I can get there if I just do if I do the gust right now. So I did that, and then right after I did the Gorons.
Oh, you went across.
Yeah, so I went like across, and I went to the Gorons. And now I'm starting to go to the Gerudos. But like I was gonna do that, like I swear I was like maybe like 7 or 8 hours ago. I was like, I'm gonna go do that now. And since walking there, I've been like
everything else.
Yeah, I've been going like on a spiral to sky, and then I mean, I don't know if you guys, if would that happen to you guys also? Like you'd go like, all right,
I'm gonna do this, and then you get sidetracked and something else happens,
and then you're like, oh, I have enough to like charge up make my battery bigger, so I'm gonna go do that now. Oh, and then like I'm right by this thing, so. Oh, and then like, oh, I'm in the depths and there's a treasure chest over here, so I'm gonna go over there, and you're just like, and then now I'm finally like, okay, I think I'm ready to go.
The original reason I came this way.
Yeah, but I also didn't want to like, because it's like obviously it's like go to the 4 places, and that's kind of your main thing. But it's also like, well, I feel like I have to go to like the Lost Woods, and I have to go to Kakariko Village, and I have to go to the other, I think it's Lurelin Town or something like that. It's like, it's where the
island,
not the island, but where like Pura's like original shop was.
Oh, yeah, that town. That town.
Yeah. So it's
the
like
vegetable town.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Or the frickin'
the fashion town with
whatever it is, mushroom outfits.
Mario approves.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
The mushroom town is called Hateo Village.
That's what it is.
Right. I was like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. You're right. That's it.
I know there because I go there to change clothes.
I don't. Yeah, that makes sense. You see the dye guy a lot, don't you? You visit that guy, and it's like weird.
He gives him a discount at this point.
It's like, just it's free now. You like,
here you go, Frankie. I have another one.
New paraglider. Let me go there.
Yeah. So now I'm finally like, oh, I'm gonna visit the Gerudos. I was like, I'm doing this tomorrow. This is actually gonna happen.
Because
because like I think like on Saturday, I was like, or Friday even, I was like, okay, when I'm on the podcast, I'm gonna be like, all right, I beat the Gerudo Den, and then
nope, never happened. Didn't even see it.
I'm not even in. Like I went through I started going through the area where it's like hot, but like I haven't gone into the city yet,
right.
Where Contessa is, or I forget her name.
How are you dealing with that?
What?
The heat.
I realized what I was kind of doing was, other than like eating like the food that like helps me with heat resistance, I was kind of like, when it's getting dark, I travel more when it's darker because I know I have the cold things. So I'm like, oh, I'm not wasting like this heat resistance thing, because I can just travel at night. And then like I'm like, oh, I'll go in a cave. Like it's like hot now, and like, oh, I want to go in a cave. And then I'm like, I guess I can just go do something else now. And then like, but like, I mean, that was like just for like an hour because I barely went in there. But that's what I've been doing. I'm like, is it night? All right, I'm gonna go outside and put on my big poofy jacket or whatever I got from whoever. But yeah, and then it's just, and then I was because I know you guys weren't like super keen on the sky stuff. It is a little more like, right?
Yeah, I wasn't. My opinion has not changed too much in that regard. It's still kind of, out of the 3 areas, it's the least interesting area.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like predictable too. You're like, oh, I'm gonna find there's gonna be one of those things that launches you. There's
a launcher, dispenser guy.
There's gonna be that robot that like you fight for a gazillion times, except his hitbox. His hitbox is here instead of over here.
Yeah, he changed it up. Ooh, he's getting smarter,
and he's like a little stronger now. Well, I mean, not to say that the depths isn't like a little predictable too, but I feel like because you can see everything, it's just like, it's like there it is, instead of being like, ooh, that's dark. I don't know what's over there.
What's in front of me? Oh shit, it's a wall.
Yeah, it could be nothing, or it could be like, oh, it's fucking like one of those like Lyolins or whatever, those crazy guys. So you're like, oh, like you're gonna kill me right now.
There's some freakazoids down there.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know until the other day. I went like, oh, you're down here too. I see.
Who?
I don't know, because I'm sure Frank knows, but I'm trying not to spoil it for Andy in case.
Oh, it's like a monster you didn't expect to see.
A monster that I didn't expect to see that was there.
Oh, I probably know. Is it?
I'll let you say it without me saying it.
Is it a Goron?
It's perhaps someone you have feet by exactly.
Okay. Yeah. That was like when and that's okay. So the sky I think is fine. It is a little predictable, but I do like the depths a lot, and I think. For me, like one of the biggest things is like I don't know, none of you guys played Minecraft, right?
No.
You didn't play it, Frank?
No.
Yeah. The depths I feel like is of like a Minecraft world is like very fascinating to me. I'm like, ooh, what's around this corner and what's over here? And I feel like that's kind of how I feel about the depths here, even though like I was wondering what you said. You said something about it being predictable, and I don't really think I know what that is.
Then good. I won't say anymore. I was about to mention something about that, but I won't. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm curious because, like, I'm like, what could not make it predictable? Because I do know that the mountains are... Is that what you're referring to? The mountains are where the peaks go? Is that it or no?
Yes and no.
Oh,
I was thinking about that too, and because we didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't say it out loud on the podcast.
No, not even after.
Yeah, we forgot. We talked about other things.
Okay.
But what I did realize was something, and I was like, well, it helped so much, and at the same time, like, well, that doesn't ruin it for me. It actually makes it better because it helps me figure out what I need to explore.
I guess it depends when you find that out. I guess I found out a little bit too soon. So that would be, I guess my only pushback on that. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, but as a guy who loves not being like surprised and like keeping suspense, as soon as I solved the mystery, I went, oh.
Well, see, now I'm so freaking curious because like I really want to know what it is, but I also kind of like
and that's why I'm kind of like, I don't want to tell you because when I found out it was not a positive thing for myself.
Because that's one of my favorite things about the depths right now is I still don't really get it, and like I kind of like that about it for me. So I think
I agree
because, and I don't know if this will like have any impact on you or in reference to what you're saying, but I was like, I feel like I've had so many like really cool, unique moments that it almost feels like this moment. I mean, you could say about the whole game, right? It's very like this moment was my moment, right? In how I approached this, and I really like how it was. Like, I think I found an item that I was like, oh, this is interesting.
A cosmetic item?
Yeah, cosmetic item that I just like. I was like kind of like sort of like running and being like very like, oh my god, this is crazy, and then I stopped and I was like, what is that? And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's this thing, and I was like, this is crazy. Okay, I'll say it has to do with like Zelda as a whole, like it's part of. Oh, okay, so
we've talked about this previously.
Is it the Skyward?
There's many outfits and costumes, which I talked about last time, because you can all. And this is what I didn't know about it. I assumed all these costumes were only available through amiibos. And then I found out.
That's what that is. Oh,
and then I found out last time Frank mentioned, oh, they're in the game. And I went, what? Because I spent the whole time gambling like a lunatic every day trying to get my goddamn Hero of Time costume. And I could not get it for my life. I mean, I still have not got it, by the way.
So the amiibos are also just in the depths, technically? Like the stuff you get from
the stuff you would get, yes.
Wow.
On certain, but it's only certain amiibos, and they're mostly all Link amiibos. And each Link amiibo connects to a different costume, turning its like game, I guess.
Huh, interesting.
So each pretty much is like representation of most of the Zelda games. The big console ones, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, then that's not a spoiler at all. I was just like, cool. Like it was the Skyward Sword. Like
you found that. I haven't found any of the stuff yet.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, and that like excited me so much because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go like find like all of his stuff down here. So like it gives me more incentive to like explore it too. Like it's a little
right.
It's like scary, but like once you kind of get it, you're like it's just like oh, it's enemies and like like it's another freaking forget their name, Bacalin, Rocks. I don't know their names. I'm bad with names today. Whatever they are called, like you can like they're like they're just as like easy to fight. They just like damage you and make your heart get all sad,
right,
for a little bit.
It's a sad heart,
and then you leave and you're like, okay, we're back to normal. It's not a big deal. And
I feel better. Oh,
yeah, like the sun. Oh my god, the sun is so good.
I can do anything. The goddamn hero of this game. Goddamn it.
But there's like I don't know, like I was in the depths and then like I found one of the Inga. And there's like a ton of them, obviously the Inga camps.
Oh right, the evil Deadpools.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I found like one that had like a crazy
Inca
the Inca clan. They're like Inga, isn't it Inga? Yinga.
Is it what is it?
The Yiga clan.
Oh, Yiga. Oh, right, with the Y. Yeah, Yiga. Yeah.
What am I saying? I'm saying
the cousins. That's you haven't got that far yet. In the DLC, they introduced them. It's crazy.
Is he gonna go to Machu Picchu?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I found, and then they had like a, there was like one that they had like a cannon. They were just like driving around. It's like basically like a mobile cannon. I'm like, I can't believe this isn't a Zelda game. Like, it's insane.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm like playing like like Need for Speed or something. Just like, or like, I don't know.
Driving nuts and bolts, perhaps?
Or nuts and bolts, but it also made me think of Death Stranding too. Like going over the rocks and stuff.
I could kind of see that, yeah.
Like the big tires. Like I was like going up
I'm just trying to get to point A and point B and there's a problem. How do I fix this problem?
He's like, I'm going to freaking...
Yeah, it's Death Stranding, I suppose.
Build ladders, a.k.a. just like...
Silent Protagonist too? This is... It's all making... Where's the whale? There's a whale somewhere.
There's... Wasn't there a whale in the first one? Or no? As the beasts, or no? Am I misremembering?
An elephant?
Oh, it's an elephant. You're right. Yeah, never mind. I mean, I guess I know you guys talked about it like ad nauseum when you talked it so much in the last two, but yeah, it's really good. I'm trying to think of other things to say that are unique. Oh, I guess things that bother me. I remember you guys were talking about things that bother me. So I think. And I guess this is such a silly complaint to have, is just like because of that circle I'm talking about, that loop I get caught in before I need to continue and like go to Gerudo. Like I'm like a little bit like, it feels like it's kind of milking me, but like it's also like that's my fault, I don't have to go.
You don't have
go to that shrine over there just because.
But it's so shiny.
Yeah, but it is. But isn't that the point of the game though?
It is.
I know. So that is with it being the point of the game and it being like, hey, go do all these things. It's a little bit like. I mean, it's hard to say that it's a bad thing, but I'm just like, oh my god, it's been like 3 hours and I've been like sucked into this game.
I've been left this town.
It's a freaking, my complaint is that it's a really good game, almost like really, but
too much to do in this game.
Your complaint is, oh man, I had too much fun doing the side quest.
No, that's literally what I'm saying, which doesn't make any sense. But I guess like on a personal level, it's like I gotta go to bed at a normal time. Like it's like
another responsibility.
I'm like I was like up all day and I should go to sleep now.
Nah, Zelda's your sleep now.
Feels like it.
Going like because I finished it and then knowing what I know now, if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't explore.
And well, you're blowing my mind.
So I wouldn't explore until you finish the 4 main missions.
I could kind of see that.
One is because you'll be more equipped to do what you want to do because you both finished the volcano one, right?
Yeah, yes. The Gorons.
After you do that, you no longer need to fuse rocks to swords.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about that until my cousin was like, yeah, I just used the Goron, to save bombs. I've been carrying these stupid rock swords, wasting my space, and I could have just used this guy that I didn't even think about using.
Yeah.
But also after you do that, it kind of like the game kind of says, okay, now explore.
Right.
Huh.
Because after I finished the four shrines, I was lost. I'm like, because all they say is like, well, find that thing you have to find. I'm like, any clues?
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
I was kind of curious, what does happen when you beat the 4? Because I haven't gone that far yet.
Which you kind of skipped it.
Which it sounds like I did, because we talked a little bit before the podcast, and it sounds like there was more to do, and I kind of already did the bonus stuff already. So whoops.
Yeah.
What?
That's what I said when he told me this. Huh?
Yeah, because there's something you have to look for, and it's kind of like it tells you, okay, if you go here, and then from there they give you another hint and another hint, and then suddenly, okay, now here it is. But he just found it by accident.
Wait, are you talking about the depths?
No.
No. Oh man.
Well, yes and no, but mostly no.
Oh gosh.
So then
Interesting.
So then I think once you do that, that's when it's like, okay, now explore if you want to. And I think it makes more sense, at least the way I did it, because I almost completed like all the shrines before I finished the first main mission.
Mm-hmm.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I explored a lot. I was like, so one thing, that's why I thought it felt easy, because I'm like, maybe I'm too strong. And so I think the game makes more sense if you go straight to each dungeon. Maybe along the way you find some shrines, but I went out of my way big time to do like all of them. Like, well, I haven't been over there. I can't. Zelda can wait.
She'll be fine.
And then so I'm like, if I had gone straight to each dungeon, it would have been like challenging. I mean, it was challenging, but I would have been sweating. I'm like, whoa. And then after that, I'm like, okay, now I have to explore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said not that I don't like exploring. It's just that it would make more sense the way I feel the game was intended is, unless you're really struggling, then yeah, go find more hearts.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it makes more sense if you do what the game tells you right away, and then after that it's like, okay, now feel free to explore.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I could kind of see it.
I'm also curious about, like, because you played the first one, right?
Yeah.
And did you ever beat it without doing any of the missions?
What mission? What do you mean? Beat it without
Like
the missions?
the Divine Beast?
Oh no, I got them all. Yeah.
Because it's different if you go straight to Ganon.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get the beams from all of them, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if how much it changes if you don't do that.
Let me ask you, do you care about the ending of Tears of the Kingdom, Andy?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Because I was going to ask Frank a question that would probably spoil the ending of that game, so maybe I won't ask him.
Ask me, I just won't answer.
Do they do that same shtick again in this game?
You mean the beams?
Yeah.
There's no beams, I tell you.
Or do they basically the same equivalent?
I mean,
you can play the 5th if you want.
If because I mean, it's even easier to stumble upon the ending. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because the thing you found by accident.
That's the game changer.
I didn't find it, and I accidentally went to the ending.
Oh, because I was going to do the same thing too until I stumbled upon it by accident.
So I didn't think I was going to the ending. I was just like, oh, okay, let me see.
See what happens.
Because this is and it's minor spoiler, but this is basically the hint they give you. Go to ruins. I'm like, and I'm thinking, well, the deaths look pretty old.
A lot of old people down there.
So I was down there, and then I was like these scenes started happening. Wait a minute, wait.
Oh.
This feels like the ending, and so I saw the scene without doing the part you did. So I kind of feel like if you don't do the main missions, I guess whichever ones you do, those are the ones that pop out.
I see. Because I'll admit, when that happened in Breath of the Wild, I was like, oh fuck, I hate this. I really wanted the like big epic final challenge. Here we go. But then if you did all the stuff, I mean, it makes sense because the game rewards you for your time. But it's like, I want the big final showdown with the big evil monster that's been plaguing us for 30 years plus now at this point. And it's just like, oh, he's already half dead already. Cool.
Yeah, it seems like a strange reward because if you do everything, you're the stronger. You're
right,
stronger.
I should be strong enough. I don't need that assist over here.
It should probably be like if you skip them all, yeah, it'll be full power.
Right.
If you do 3, it'll be reduced.
Right.
If you do them all, it'll be like the secret. Okay, now is the real final strongest.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I want that kind of reward versus what
or
we
maybe
got.
like, okay, if you do them all, plus if you get all the shrines, now you get to
something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's kind of what, like, I want to do everything, but at the same time, I want the biggest challenge.
Exactly. That's how I'm thinking.
Now in respect to that, the ending, I have mixed feelings. Because overall, I liked it better than the original. I felt
I'll take it.
The original, I felt like I was scammed.
Wait, story-wise or
a little bit? Well, both.
Boss-wise.
Oh,
because I'm like, Calamity Ganon. I know you're the real Ganon somewhere. Like, where are you? Why
Show
are you
your
fighting?
face.
So that's kind of why I felt like I was, because to me in the original, it's cool, but I feel like I don't even know what it looked like. I feel like I was fighting a crab. What was going on?
Yeah,
Oh,
it didn't work
it's like
for me
climbing the
design-wise.
walls and whatever.
And then the second part was cool.
Yeah.
It was better.
But still, it felt like I wasn't fighting the real boss.
Yeah.
And then it ended, because I even thought like, okay, so it's still gonna go because I haven't fought Ganon.
Right, where's the real one?
But this one, I mean, you actually fight Ganon because he comes out from the beginning.
Yeah.
Ganondorf.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Very different.
Now that thing that they do, it does make it easier, but it doesn't, like, I feel like it's not as bad as
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. Ah, man, I really hope. I kind of wish you guys had finished because I want to talk about how I felt when I fought it. It's not a big thing, but yeah, he's hard. He's hard.
Well, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
And after that, I have a problem with the dragons in this game. I think they're ugly.
That sounds like
the ones that are just like floating around, right? Like,
yeah.
And Ghidorah motherfuckers.
Yeah, and
wait, we're talking about the friendly ones or the not friendly ones?
the not friendly ones.
Okay, I want to make sure.
I wish that they talked more about them. That's my problem. It's like, what's up with them? Because you see them, they're kind of important,
Right.
and then it's kind of like,
There's a couple missions that talk about, but it's not a big story mission. No, there's a couple side
because
quests.
they all have different names, right?
Yes, I mean, yeah, they technically it's like I'm the fire dragon, I'm the white dragon or whatever, blue dragon.
I think I remember their names being kind of important because, like,
well, I don't know a lot about them. I don't. Is there a big story?
No, they don't say.
They're also. Are they Breath in the Wild or am I high?
No,
They're in Breath of the Wild.
Right, they're in
Well,
Breath
I
of the
thought
Wild.
there was only one for some reason in Breath of the Wild, and there's
Oh.
three.
No, there's more.
There's more than one.
There's
Okay.
more.
I want to say yes, but I don't remember.
I think there's 3.
Just
And
like or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's. I don't know who's.
Even I don't know how many there are in
I'm still
this
early-ish.
one. Let
I
alone
think
the
there's
first one.
4 in this one.
That would be my guess.
Um,
Because Japan likes number 4.
the thing, because I could be wrong because I kind of sped through it, but they dropped these scales, and they're called like Din scale or something, or Nairu scale, and that's why I was so curious about them because they have names of important figures in past Zeldas.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, what's your story? Come
Right.
on.
Well, I mean, yeah. There, and that's.
Oh,
Let me. Okay. Oh, now it's like I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to spoilers. I'm like, oh, Andy's on. I can't say I wanna-
Yeah.
Just don't talk about the 4th track.
You've seen that coincidence, haven't you, Andy?
the dragons.
Well, not about the dragons
What do you
particularly,
know about the
but the
dragons?
fact of certain things are names from other games.
Well, see, I don't even really know. Well,
Or do you want
No,
to? You
I
don't
don't-
want to. Okay, then
yeah,
let's not talk about this at all.
I'm gonna try to be as still fresh. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm still kind of like.
Then I will
learning the
avoid this
world.
conversation.
All right. Well,
Appreciate it.
I just don't like the look, and I was hoping I would get more on the other dragons
Right.
because you get a lot on one, but then the other ones no.
Mm.
And the other thing, now talking about the
3-headed ones.
3-headed dragons.
Uh-huh.
This is the thing that it's like what happened with Andy. It's my fault,
Uh-huh.
but it kind of bothered me.
Okay.
Like, I saw them and I was just like, nope.
No?
I did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that
I mean,
for
I
the
haven't
first few
interacted
times.
with them.
I
yet.
never fought one of them.
Oh, really?
The whole time?
The whole game.
Oh, wow.
You know what else I never fought? Or at least succeeded?
Oh.
A Lino.
Really?
Oh.
I never killed a Lino.
They don't. I've only stumbled upon one so far.
I've only found one in the depths.
I found. Didn't find any in the depths.
Neither did I.
And you know what else I didn't kill? One of those frogs, the big giant frogs.
Oh, they're not that hard.
I don't know.
They're in the depths as well.
Oh, maybe. Oh yeah.
They're like the grown up version of the little ones, right?
Yeah.
They have the same name, I think.
Yeah, I've killed those all day.
It's like
I got like 10 of them in my back pocket.
It's like frogs or something. It's like a
giant something
frog.
like.
How'd you kill him?
With the stones.
It's got the stones on its back.
The big old stones. Those are real. Those suckers are easy to kill.
Yeah, they're pretty easy.
Oh, you know what I was trying to do? I was trying to hit his eye.
Yeah.
And I'm like his eye is really tiny.
Oh.
I suck at aiming.
You could cheat with the eyeballs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait.
You're not doing anything else with them, are you?
You know what? I think this game was hard for me because I was not doing what
all the things they spent time and effort doing and adding.
You're doing it your own Frank
build
way.
stuff. Nope, I'm walking everything.
Nah.
I love building stuff though.
I hate building stuff.
Really?
I don't even use a horse.
I was like,
I don't either.
Who's a really? Oh,
like very rarely.
I mean, I don't use them as much. I feel like I use them more often in Breath of the Wild than this one. I'll say that.
I use the horse a lot in this game.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm less.
I kept drinking my Sonic potions.
Or I'm like flying everywhere a lot too. Like I'm always
I've been doing that more since between this and the last episode.
Yeah.
I did a lot more.
I like the flying up there.
Yeah.
You guys have the diving suit?
I'm missing a piece.
What's the diving
Get
suit?
it.
What's the diving suit?
It lets you
the gliding one that you fall. Yeah.
Oh, I have the head and the chest. Not
I'm missing the head.
Where you do where you win, you get it by doing those little like contests.
The rings.
Yeah. Okay. I only need one more. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
I gotta find that last one.
Yeah, it's fun. Like free falling and like you're like, ooh, I'm really moving here.
Woo!
Getting that allowed me to get so much done. Because I don't know how you're supposed to do it. I guess you don't even have to, because you could just go to the ending if you want. But at one point, one of the missions is to go to the castle, and if I didn't have that, I'm not sure how I would have gotten there. I guess you have to get creative and build stuff.
Oh,
but I'm like, no, I'm not gonna build a ship. I'm not gonna build a bridge. I'm just gonna figure out how to dive down there.
Interesting.
But even with like full stamina, the that skill that pushes you. And the gliding suit, I barely made it.
Interesting.
So it was like, I think I'm doing this wrong.
Another thing the developers didn't want you to do.
I know. So my guess is that they want you to build something and go there.
I thought it was easy to get to. I'm pretty sure I was able to reach the castle.
You got to the castle already?
I haven't gone there yet, but I went because I went through. Oh right, because I went to the depths from the castle. And I was like, oh, I could reach the castle easily if I wanted to, but I'm like, I'm not reaching the castle.
How would you want to get there?
Why would I want to?
No, how?
Just by gliding. Just the tower and the glide.
Yeah, that's what I did, but you barely make it.
Really? I'll look like I could have. No, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't technically go for it, but it sure looked like I could have.
You know what? I was like, yeah, I could get there too.
With the ability too,
with the ability, with the glide suit.
Yeah. Huh.
So I mean, I guess like you had a potion.
I'm trying to remember. Maybe I did. Oh well.
It's not as easy as I thought it would be, because you see it, I'm like, oh, it's there.
Right, yeah, it looks that through. Oh, it's right there.
So, that's cool. So that's one of the things that I kind of like. It's my fault. Like I should have fought him, but I was like, I guess I thought the game at one point would be like, okay, it's like fight one of them, like you have to beat it for the mission. But they're all just extra credit, I guess. So I don't even know how to kill them. I don't know how hard they are or what.
Well, that's the thing about, and I think that was like the weird thing for me in Breath of the Wild was like, I didn't know. I was like, I feel like, and I was telling you this, I feel like I kind of had like some sort of like regret about how I handled Breath of the Wild, because I was like, oh, how much did I miss? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm missing like lore and stuff. Like if I don't like if I don't really find it, because I don't know anything about the dragons, I'm like, am I missing like important things if like you're saying? But I mean, I guess you both probably know a little bit better. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to have like FOMO or whatever.
Right.
But yeah. Oh, and there was one other thing I wanted to say. This was like I do think this is like a silly thing that like in like, oh, we're gonna make you do more things, so it's fun. I don't like the thing with like, help hold up the guy's sign. I hate those.
I've done one and only one.
I've done so many, but I hate myself for doing it.
Especially when I got. Let me ask you, what do you get?
And that's the thing. Like they're not like you don't need them to. It's just like it's essentially rupees. It's a decent food thing, or it's like, and then it's like a bomb or like a poofy mushrooms or whatever that like blind everybody. So it's like you basically waste like 2 minutes just to get some stuff.
Right.
It's like it's not a fun mini game. It's very like
it was the worst part so far for me.
Yeah, I do it just because it's there, but like
I mark them on the map, but I'm never gonna go back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like yeah, that's my least favorite thing. I do like the how they added that the Koroks. They added that additional like, hey, gotta get to my friend. Like, it's like fun. Like, I mean, for the most part, it's just like
you know what? I didn't know that was what we were supposed to do with those guys.
Oh no!
What did you think?
Just today, I was watching the video and it's like, yeah, and then you could use this to carry the guys to his friend. Oh, that's what you're supposed to do. I thought he was just telling me where the other guy was.
And then you just ignored him?
I didn't ignore him.
Cool story, bro. All right, I'm gonna go.
I'm like, oh, you want me to go there? Okay, I'll go there.
All right.
And then the other guy's like, yeah, my friend's over there. I'm like, yeah, I saw him.
I could use a lift on
that, perhaps.
I didn't know.
I could see that almost being like the game developers trying to show you something like, hey, go over there, and then when you're over there, you'll see that thing.
I guess I could kind of see it,
but for that many times in this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe after there were a few times, maybe like out of curiosity, maybe let's take him over there.
Yeah, and after a while, I was like, yeah, my friend's over there. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't know why you guys are telling me this.
So you didn't have issues like, I guess, accumulating things to add more items or anything? That was never a problem, like to have a bigger quantity, more weapons to hold.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have issues. What?
Because you're getting more Koroks.
If you do the Koroks, I don't know if you know, Sir Frank.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get double.
You get a cool dance.
You get a cool dance, and you get another slot in your inventory.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a problem for you, not having more slots.
Well, it's nice to have more slots, but I may do.
You may do. I may do what I had. Got the Master Sword and my shield. That's all I need.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know what? I got the Master Sword, but I didn't use it.
I was a little bummed. Well, I shouldn't say because of Andy here.
It's cool and all. It's just the thing was like, okay, you're like my best weapon. I don't want to waste you.
Yeah, there's that too, but it's can't say.
It was cool. It's just like for me, I just wanted to waste the other weapons first, and then I think that's why I had a lot of trouble. Fighting things because
you'd start with the weakest thing. Or something?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. and then I had like the rods. I'm like, can't use those because those are rare.
Oh, the magical rods.
And then I'm like, I can't use my crappy one attack leaf blower because I'm like, I might need it to if I'm on a boat. So I had all these weapons that I'm like, I might need it. And
I was carrying a torch for a very long time. Never used it after like the first hour or two.
Yeah, exactly.
And then so that's kind of what happened with the dragon and the Lynels. I would look at my weapons like, yeah, I can't beat you. I'm under-equipped. So I'll be back, though.
I'll admit, doing the Amiibo game, the only plus side, I couldn't get a costume to save my life, but I was able to get a lot of decent weapons occasionally, which would help me, especially when you combine them with the other stuff. How do you feel about all that fusion stuff, Andy, since you're having a chance to talk about you got to use this material from this enemy, and now you got a strong sword, and the fact that all the weapons are all crappy unless you do the fusion stuff. How did you feel about that? Because it took me a very long time to like get into it and actually use it and like it.
Yeah, it is weird. I think maybe I was more okay with it, and I guess just like it made more sense. Like, and maybe it's just the story part of it, like helping me along, where it's like, oh, everything sucks here. It's like kind of like all these things are bad, so like you have to just make do. Whereas like, oh, that and then it breaks, so it's like that makes sense, like this stuff.
Right.
Where in the first one it's just like, why is this good sword breaking? Like, this is a solid sword, and then like, but in the new one, it's like, oh, everything's kind of worn down.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Sort of like and I'm like, oh, I get it. So you make a sword with a sword, which is very silly concept to me. It's just like, this is two swords stacked,
two big staff pulls together,
and it's like 10 points better. But it's like, it's just two swords. Like,
it's pretty silly after a while.
You know what I liked? I liked fusing the Zonai stuff.
Yeah, I did too.
Because it wouldn't make the sword look cool instead of like
certain things are better. Yes.
Yeah, and it like they work together. So like rather than like it being two stupid swords, it's like, oh, it's like a full nice.
It transforms it to something new,
and it feels like more of a sword than the other things do.
True.
The other thing this game was expensive. Like I don't maybe I played it wrong, but like I don't like going out of my way and doing mini quests, get money, or farming to sell stuff. So I just went along, and it was like, damn, I don't have money.
Rubies are hard to come by in Hyrule these days. Inflation.
Yeah, and that's why it took me so long to go to the volcano area, because I'm like, I can't afford the stew. I'm not gonna make the food because I'm lazy to cook, and I'm not gonna. So it was just like, I'm like, well, I can't afford to go there. That's what.
That's funny that you would say that, because like you didn't go to the lava level because you were like, I can't afford this really hot suit. But I feel like when I did that, I don't know if you remember, there's like when you when you're in the Goron area, there's like a Gerudo who's like, hey, I'll buy your gems for like double the price.
Yeah.
And I found that person and I kept doing it, and I was just like, I'm making so much money just because I was
swimming in it, yeah.
Because there were like so many rocks. It's like you're always running into like a topaz,
especially if you're going the depths and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, I got all this stuff, and so like I was making a lot of money because I went to the Goron.
Yeah, I was swimming in the electrical stones.
Well, that guy, I mean, I remember in the first game you needed those to make armors. So I was like, I don't want to waste them. And then in the end, I ended up not making the armors. Because I was just like, I like these better.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other question I wanted. Oh, were you going to say something, Andy?
Oh, no, I was like, electrical stones. I'm like, why am I not realizing what you're saying?
The topaz?
Oh, yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yes.
Was it? Oh, so when you did the shrines, what did you cash in stamina or hearts?
I always do I usually go 2 hearts stamina, 2 hearts stamina. That's kind of what I do. Or if I'm like my stamina's looking pretty decent, and I've been doing okay out there. Then I'll go hard.
Because I went all in on stamina.
Oh, really?
I went all on stamina. I'm like, well, then I'll just dodge. Don't get hit, and I won't be a problem.
I guess that's true.
Because I remember when I played Breath of the Wild, I realized because I did the same thing where I was kind of like, yeah, more hearts and a little bit of stamina. But I was like, shit, I'm tired if I can't climb this stupid bloody mountain. So this time I was like, I'm putting it all on stamina. I'll just dodge, and if it becomes a problem, then I'll go hang out with the fairies, and they'll upgrade my defense. And so when they hit me, it won't be as bad. It'll be fine.
Like, carry a bunch of fairies or something.
And so I did that, but then it's like, oh, I guess I'll take another heart. Yeah, I feel like it's like, sure, I'll take another silly heart. I don't need it, but sure, I'll take it. I guess what else am I gonna do with these shrine points?
The spirit is like looking at you funny, like you're getting another stamina bar. Like really?
I'm like, I'll take another one. Faster, please.
Like rolls its eyes at you.
Once again, I'm the Sonic fan here on the podcast. Gotta go fast.
Did you ever try to get more stamina after you fill it all up?
I tried and it said no. Like, damn it.
Is it 2 rings outside the little one?
Okay. 3 altogether.
Yeah.
And I was kind of tempted. And potential have you searched close to the castle, Andy?
Not really.
Okay, then I will leave that part out.
Yeah.
Maybe Frank knows what I'm talking about.
Close to the castle?
Close to the castle.
Dealing with stamina?
Yes.
I don't even know what you're trying to talk
about. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Maybe both surprised later on, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what this game is.
That's the crazy thing. We've both been playing. All of us have been playing this game, and yet we certain things we don't know, and this and that. It's all in that's the fascinating thing about it.
Yeah.
It's like good and bad because it's fun to talk about, but also it becomes kind of a pain to talk about.
Especially if you were so interested in the secrets of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you went west, I went east, and Frank went north. It's like, well, then shit, we have all completely different experiences. We all know different things.
Yeah.
And we don't want to spoil about anything to each other. So it's like, well, then we can't really talk about it either.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, I'm not sure if you're just being too vague or if you actually did.
Well, that's true. Well, I'm trying to do both. I am being vague because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm trying to think the basic questions of people starting off in this game. And you said you went to is that what you said, Andy? You went to the Rito,
and then Goron,
and then Goron, and you went back. Because I went to Rito, and then I went to Gerudo. Because I was like, in my brain, I went to Rito, and I went like, well, that's a good power up. And I remember Breath of the Wild, the best 2 powers were on that side, on the west side of the map. So I'm gonna go there directly after this map, and that worked out pretty well for me without getting spoilers, since I know you haven't been there. And then I went to the Goron, and I went like, yeah, maybe I should have done the Goron because it kind of sucks in comparison for me. So that was one things like,
oh, you didn't like the Goron one as much?
Not as much. Yeah, I feel like the game probably wants you to do that second because I found it too easy personally.
Yeah, actually, I that was the last one I did. I wasn't a big fan of the Goron area either. I I think it was just like, it was trying to be like really like, ooh, look, it's like a bunch of carts and stuff, and it was just like, I don't know, like.
I hope you like Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt very like empty.
Yeah.
In a way, and then the boss was super easy. I was just like, this was
way.
I was like, this is crazy easy. I mean, for me, I didn't. You were having
I found him. Yeah, he should be almost be number one because I found the Rito guy even harder.
Yeah, that one took me a long time to understand. Like I was shooting arrows for like so many, and then I had like 2 arrows left, and I was like, I can't do this. And then I was like, wait a minute, and then I was like flying, and I was like, damn it. Oh, I don't
know why, but that one my brain went, I know what to do. I
did not. It took me like so long. I was so pissed off.
How about you? You're the tiebreaker, Frank. Did you know what to do?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Damn it. Well,
so it's just you, Andy. So you're just the weirdo.
I'm a freaking idiot.
It's all right.
Shooting arrows at this giant
That's
beast.
something I was wondering about. I wonder if the difficulty scales based on the order you do them.
Right. Which would
I'm curious about that because you guys just said that the Goron was easy, and I found that one kind of hard.
Really?
Like
the boss too?
Oh, I'm just
the boss.
I'm only speaking about the bosses.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying
I just meant the whole area, but I see. Okay, yeah, I guess
I meant particularly the boss, but also I meant the area too. But at that point, I had so many abilities that like I just cheated my way to that temple.
Yeah, it was.
So you found the boss and that one difficult, huh?
More difficult than the Zora and the Rito, yeah.
Oh wow!
And then the hardest one for me was the desert.
So far, that has been the case, but I've not been to the Zora area yet.
So I'm wondering if
it scales,
if you got a different difficulty.
It's just like they're a little stronger, or like a tiny bit.
It is
something.
curiosity, yeah.
It would make sense because
that
would be a normal
seem
video
like
game thing.
I'm not sure about the bosses in the temple areas, but the regular world. All of a sudden, I've noticed. Well, it sure is a bunch of tougher looking moblins or whatever there are these days. Like, where are these? I haven't seen these fools all game long, and now here they are.
Yeah.
And now they're over here, and
like
they're over
body
there.
Armor and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, well, okay, when that happens. So I feel like that part is definitely depending on how many hours and how many things you've done in the game. But the temple stuff, I don't know. Maybe that's its own separate little thing.
Or maybe I just didn't really quite get it. But it was that's why I found it weird. Like, wait, that one was the easiest one?
Yeah.
I was just like, shoot Goron.
Well,
run,
maybe
run,
the other one.
Shoot
I
Goron.
forgot because I just did that one recently.
And I can tell you why I found it hard.
No, I think the Goron was still easier.
It was hard in the depths though for me when you meet it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was still easy.
No, it was different though.
Was it?
Yeah.
I killed him in seconds.
Yeah. In the depths, I found them easy.
See, look at this. Is so weird. We're all like,
we're playing the same game, right, fellas?
Yeah,
right? Tears of the Kingdom is the name of the game we're playing.
The reason it was hard for me in the dungeon was because the second half he goes to the ceiling.
Right, but I knew that immediately.
No, I knew that, but I just kept missing.
Oh,
I just kept missing. I'm like, damn it!
I couldn't see it, and I just shot. I'm like, I'll hit him eventually.
So then I would miss, and then he would trap me with his. With the
egg circle or whatever,
and then
3 stamina bars.
No,
dodge that shit.
No, because he drops the rocks all around you.
Yeah, I always ran out of it.
How?
Wow.
I'm just that fast. Gotta go fast.
I felt like I agree with you. It was like inevitable. Like
I dodged it every time.
No way.
He never caught me.
God.
He never. And I realized like, the fool tried to catch me. Good luck, sucker.
And you found the gold sword and the white armor too.
What can I say, fellas? Some of us are the best gamers. Some are real gamers, and some of us not so much.
No, the part was that I understood what you had to do, but I would shoot the thing out because I'm trying to kill it fast, and then I know how to get out. You just break them.
Right.
But I didn't have like the guy was still lit. I'm like, hey.
Oh, reload. Come on.
We're kind of in a pickle here.
Come on, buddy. I need you, buddy.
You're right here. Just do it again. and I'm like, I'll just throw a bomb at it, and the bomb didn't work. So I was like, that's why I was having trouble with it. So I was like,
that's funny.
Kind of in a hurry to beat it, and that's why I would lose. But then I'm like, all right, now be patient. But that's why that one was hard.
I guess that makes sense. Just cheating my way through.
The other one is only hard if you run out of arrows. And then but
that was a problem in the middle of my playthrough. I was like, oh shit, I'm out of arrows. That's a problem.
I forgot what I was doing. Yeah,
I'm actually doing okay with that.
Now, my fix was like, I'll just buy them every time I see them at the shop.
I see a box.
Because I'm rolling in dough.
Arrows.
Diamonds are forever.
I did run into that flying one in the depths.
I have not seen. I've only seen that one, but I imagine, if one's there, they're all gonna be there.
Right.
Yeah, I ran into all of them. I did. A lot of times.
Oh, really? I've only seen the one time.
I like running into that one in the depths because to fight it, their wind blows up. So I'm like, yes, thanks for the ride, and then I would just go explore.
I'm out of here.
I'll see you later.
Gotta go.
I see another route out.
Got out, babe. I'll see you later. Gotta
And
go.
then I just mark it, so like, okay, this is where you are.
Yeah, I put like a little skull. Like I'm like, that's where I'm.
Right, yeah.
I gotta.
If I need a boost, go here.
That is fun though, exploring and like marking things on your map.
Yeah.
There are things I want to say, but you guys haven't done it.
No, I'm still. Next time I'm gonna make it sure. I'm gonna beat the hell out of it. Even though like
But the game had less story than I would hope.
I'm starting to feel that way. At first I wasn't feeling that way, but I'm starting to feel that way.
I guess it's just probably a me thing, but I would have hoped that the story you play it as you go and not like, cause I kind of wish it wasn't a memory.
Right, it's all in the past.
Yeah,
which is
and
like what the first one did.
Which is the same thing, yeah.
Kind of
which also sucked about the first game.
It's a cop out.
I wonder why they did that though.
I mean, this time at least they kind of made it more of an interesting plot thing happening.
Like I do like the time travel thing. Like I'm a sucker for time travel.
Exactly.
So I was kind of like, all right. You got me a little more interested than normal.
Exactly.
Just by throwing in a time travel shit.
I remember old Zeldas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm concerned about that because I don't know, have you done a lot of the memories, Andy?
The glyphs or whatever?
The different.
Oh yeah, a couple of
rolling-
them.
yeah.
I did like the first few, and then I found a random like last one, like second to last. But I found like when the teardrops, right?
The teardrops. Because I guess I found them maybe in the wrong order ? Where I'm like, oh, I think I know what's gonna happen. I got one like basically the later cutscenes that basically just like, explains what's happening. And it's just like, oh, okay. Well, then I don't need to watch all these other cutscenes. And then
I don't think I have seen it yet.
And I was hoping that they would expand upon it. And I think I've already come about the point where they're going to, if they did. And it's like, oh, that's it? Okay, cool. Cool. Unless the final showdown is epically crazy, which it doesn't sound like it is, I'm going to be a little bummed out once again when it comes to the story about this game. Because
You mean the final boss?
Yeah. Is a lot of story stuff happening, or is it just, nah?
You mean epically crazy story-wise?
Maybe not epically great, but enough to... Well, it's like, once again, like, I guess it's not spoilers if Andy's have played other Zelda games, correct, Andy?
Sure, yeah.
Refer to the fact of, like, how is Ganondorf here? How does this work, right? Do they even try to explain that?
Well...
Because of the greater scheme of the Zelda timeline, the nonsense that is the Zelda timeline. Or
about
where would it fit?
Linking it to other games?
Mm-hmm.
Not really, but me and my fantasy mind that I have,
trying to make it happen.
I like to think that you're finding all the armors because they're all the dead links in the depth.
So the furthest down the timeline. After Wind Waker.
After everything, this is the one.
There we go.
But I know that's not true. I think you just put them down there for fun. It's not like, it's because,
You're talking about the depths?
Yeah, the depths, because you found the sky
costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just funsies.
In my mind, it's because of that.
There you go.
That's a fun theory. I like that theory.
I think I'm gonna go with it. I like it more than when I think what's happening.
But the talking about what you just said, yeah, going into it, I was like, oh, because there was rumors. Oh, this is the Ganon from Twilight Princess. And he's been here the whole time, and I'm like, that would have been cool if they would have actually said this is the same Ganon, and he finally woke up.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't do that. Maybe,
but they never really do they?
They do. Like Wind Waker is after Ocarina of Time.
There are games. Well, so the timeline is dumb. Let's get that out of the way. It's ridiculous. But if you take it by the word and you think about it, they do make certain games that make a lot more sense according to that silly timeline.
Certain games are linked for sure.
Yeah. So, have you seen the timeline, Andy?
No, but I mean, as far as like knowing they link, like obviously that they link, like is like the obvious ones are like Ocarina to Majora, but you're thinking beyond that too, right? You're not even just thinking that.
Well, because according to Nintendo, it splits into 3 timelines.
Oh, I forgot about. I think I vaguely remember that,
and I forgot about this till Frank brought it up on the first episode. I was like, because we were kind of talking about it. I think it was more off podcast than on. And so ever since then, I've been thinking about in the back of my head, like, where would this fit? I'm thinking, because I'm trying to remember the events of the previous games and how the timeline works. And I started off on, I was like rewatching some clips on YouTube of like, oh, this is how this ends. This is how this plays out. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And that makes sense. So it made me start thinking like, how does this game fit? I have a theory, but I can't divulge too much. And plus, I don't know for sure because I haven't finished the game. But I have a very good theory, and I feel like the more evidence I see supports my theory so far.
The theory of what happened, or why they're doing the thing?
Both, I guess you would argue.
I would like to hear this.
Next time, perhaps.
But I guess that kind of makes sense with, well, that's not necessarily, I was going to say the Zonai, but the Zonai are from that era, so they're from that really, really, really old time. But it's interesting because, like, that's when all the stuff is, like, it's almost like futuristic, the Zonai stuff.
Right.
It's like futuristic from the past.
You know what I would love to see? I mean, it's not going to happen because I already finished the game. But, or like, if they do part 3, which I kind of hope they don't.
Right.
If they do a part 3, this is what I will want. Whatever story. They should continue the Zonai stuff, but more like, not continue, but have it there still, like not completely like disregard it. And I kind of hope they go like into space. That would make that would be well, like, say, okay, mostly still Hyrule world, but have one dungeon in the original place of the Zonai, and because I'm guessing they're not from Earth.
Is it even Earth to begin with? Bum, bum, bum.
So I'm guessing they're not from that planet.
Right, there you go.
So it would be cool to see their full civilization, if there is one, because it's not for sure that they're aliens. It's just kind of like could be.
Right.
Because the way they explain it, they make it seem like they're gods.
Right.
So, but in my mind, they're aliens, and be like, hey, how about we visit your hometown for one dungeon? Like, what's it called? Kingdom Hearts. The Tron level. Let's just have one Tron level, please.
Tron level.
That would be interesting because it's so like out there. Nintendo. I feel like they could do it, but it'd have to be very like space, but not in a cheesy way. You know what I mean? Not like
Link in an astronaut suit, taking leaps.
But I feel like it'd have to be like, I don't know, like if you wanted to be like Zelda is traditionally.
American flag and the Master Sword next to each other.
Well, they always have like go to the Dark World. Well, they could just be like, there's a portal.
Dark side of the moon.
This one goes to that place.
Yeah, and it's like it's like a part of space that would be cool.
It would be interesting. I'm not sure it's happening, but it'd be interesting.
Or you made me think of a thing though. Like you're saying that, like I think a cool Zelda. What I would like to see in the next Zelda is like amping up, like doing like a trippier Majora's Mask. I think that would be really cool if they did something like that, like something really weird, like having like the whole concept of the moon coming down, but doing that, but like whatever that would mean on this latest generation, like being like.
Yeah, I would. I'm trying to think now. I guess we're on a slightly different topic, but
I know that just came to my brain.
Right. I what I would personally want is maybe something like Majora's Mask. Not so much. Well, I don't mind the end of the world scenario, but more to me, what I like more about Majora's Mask is the weirdness, but the fact of like you actually hang out with these people and like see what they're up to do in their daily lives. So I like that because I know, like for example, with Tears of the Kingdom, when you went to the Hateno, the mushroom town.
Hateo.
I like doing all those missions in the town going on. I don't know if you've done that or not, Andy, but there's like a lot of missions going on in town.
Oh, I did the election.
Yeah, exactly. That, yeah. So doing stuff like that and going to this mission, like you have to do this to do that. I love doing like just hang out on the spot and just seeing like, oh, this guy's over here at this time and this person's over here at this time, which is just fucking Majora's Mask.
Right.
So like I would want that as another Zelda game. Personally for myself, since we're talking about that.
Yeah, I just just like, I want to say this thing.
Yeah,
maybe
I have this thought too.
Maybe you have an idea. Yeah, that's cool.
Trying to think anything.
I mean, I think I said a lot. I mean, I don't know how much I was talking about Zelda, but
trying to think. Sadly, all my things are like, since I'm towards like probably the 75% marker, all my stuff is potential spoilers. So I guess I'll have to save it for next time unless something rings in my head, and I want to say no.
That's a really good game.
It is a very good game.
It's very good.
And I do like it more than Breath of the Wild, but it makes me wonder, do I just have this like weird bad memory of Breath of the Wild at this point? Like I like Breath of the Wild, but I guess a lot of people are like, oh my god, it's the greatest game. And I'm like, it's good. Like to me, it's like people give it like a 5 out of 5, but I'm like, it's a 4 out of 5
Here
for
are
me.
my thoughts. I like the ending better than Breath of the Wild.
Tears of the Kingdom is better.
Yes.
Okay.
I like the story better.
That's true. That is, yeah. 100%.
I mean, so far I am already.
Despite I'm a little disappointed still, it's still way better.
What I liked about Breath of the Wild more was it felt better playing the dungeons, like all.
Oh, really? I don't feel that at all.
Yeah, it felt more polished. I'll say it.
In Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I totally disagree.
Yeah, I felt it was cool, like, when you having to get into the divine beast. Like, I remember swimming alongside that guy.
That part,
It's
maybe.
the flying part.
But once you get there, it falls off a fucking cliff for me.
Yeah, the actual dungeons
Yeah.
are like, whatever. But I felt it was very cinematic going into the
they were super. Yeah,
in Tears of the Kingdom, certain areas are better and closer to Breath of the Wild, but some of them are just kind of stinkers, I guess.
And I feel like this game was not as cinematic. But what I mean is getting to the dungeon.
Right, the setup.
Cool.
Yeah, the setup.
And then the whole thing when you dress like a girl, that whole thing was fun.
That was
Oh,
fun.
that was fun. Yeah, that was a fun thing. Yeah.
That was, that's true.
It was kind of nice little, like, kind of a humorous aside.
Right, and you have to think about it, like, oh, okay, all right, I have to think, okay.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the game more and I like the gimmick more in the first one too. Like, you have the bombs and then the
you like
ice.
the abilities more.
Yeah. And this one I feel like, because I said I pretty much, like, if I didn't have to do it,
You
I
didn't do
wouldn't
any of the building stuff.
I wouldn't build stuff. I'd be like, I go out there. I know you want me to build this bike, but I got Epona.
I kind of see. Yeah, I could kind of see that, but at the same time, I still found myself playing with those mechanics in this game more than I used the bombs, and that's all I remember from Breath of the Wild. I remember the whole like thing where you could project and hit stuff and stop it, and then it flies away in a certain direction. Never used any of that shit, or at least I don't remember using it.
Yeah, because there was the magnet, the bombs, the ice.
Right.
And
oh my god, I forgot about those.
And then you stop time.
Right.
It wouldn't reverse it, but it would stop time.
Yeah, you would stop. Yeah, but I always find myself using the lifting things and the rewinding time. I use all the time in Tears of the Kingdom. Just because I'm like, I can see the puzzle they want me to do, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this, do that, and stop time, and I'm already done. I just like it feels like you're cheating your way in Tears of the Kingdom, and I much prefer it.
In Tears of the Kingdom, it almost feels like everything is built in like the very one skill.
Yeah.
And the other one, I feel like, okay, I need to use this, and then over here, I have to use this.
Right. I guess that's true, but I just don't like. I don't want to deal with any of that shit, to be honest.
I want them to come back with like, okay, every dungeon has its own, unique item.
Right. Yeah. I do kind of. Yeah. I kind of miss the more linear Zelda games too, and they kind of brought back more in this game, but not as enough for myself. But like I said, But when I play video games, I play for the narrative stuff, and the old Zelda games are very go to A to B to C to D, and a lot of story elements would have. Because they knew how you were going to play the game, and so they would reveal the story at a certain pace. In this game, we don't know what's going to happen or where you're going to go, so we're just going to give you this kind of generic, safe cutscene in this situation. And the more you do it, and I think you talked about last time, Frank, it gets kind of like old. Like, you know what they're going to, after doing this, you're going to get this cutscene, and here we go again.
I don't remember what I said.
Well, that's what you said, Frank. I have the record. I can prove it.
But I guess that's it for the Zelda.
All the Zeldas.
Yeah, I think just gotta beat it now.
There you go. Next to do list.
I want
the big check mark.
I want to have free speech.
I want to be able to let loose on this podcast. I got some thoughts.
All right. So now that is our long ass Zelda talk. I know you guys like to do it. I love to talk about Zelda for a really long time too. So
the reason why it's number one.
Yeah, it's very good. Definitely, I feel like, we were all like 69. Well, I don't know if you all were, but I was like $69.99. No way. And I'm like, oh, it's worth it.
It's still, I didn't pay that price, but I think it's worth that price.
Oh, yeah, you got it off
the
like
Costco
half off or whatever.
And this is why you got the Costco membership. You get the deals.
With the Nintendo things.
Nintendo vouchers.
Yeah.
I got that with my Advance Wars remake. I think for $50 each. It's another great day.
But so that's that, and now we're on to our next segment, which is the main segment, and it's about video game news, which is normally its own thing, but now because there's so much news to discuss, it's getting double categories today.
Very absorbing special. It all.
Yeah. But I guess I'll let you, maybe Ray, you have a better sense of what's your.
So as the I guess Taco Otaku podcast producer, my goal was to do a good job and try to recover, especially with all these different conferences. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 showcases I previewed for this podcast, for this particular episode. And I didn't sit down and watch everything. I kind of skimmed through certain things. 1 or 2 I did watch because, the Xbox One and Capcom. I'm a Capcom junkie, so I watched all that. But yeah, I just skimmed through it. So I have a lot of games to talk about. I don't know. I know Frank is maybe a little bit behind on certain things. I did cover a lot of indie games. I guess I'm trying to give some representation to a bunch of underdogs out there, just like here on a little podcast. Feel free to stop me anytime, gentlemen, if there's something you want to talk about from that I've mentioned or you've seen from said showcase. So I'm going to start by chronological order, I guess, which was the Guerrilla Collective showcase, which is a bunch of indie studios. The first game I saw here, I wrote down, was a game called Ollie Frog Toad Skater, which is just a very cute, it's just what it sounds like. It's a cute Tony Hawk ripoff with a cute little toad guy jumping around doing little kick flips. And I really like the Tony Hawk games, so that's all I had to say to me. And I'm still kind of bummed out because there was a game called Skatebird that was supposed to kind of be the indie swan song, with Tony Hawk games. It was bad.
Did you play it?
Yeah. I played like the early access game. Like, well, early access. It's gonna get it together. It was available on Game Pass, and then it never got better. Okay, well, this isn't the Tony Hawk feeling success I was hoping for. Yeah. But this game is a little bit more colorful, a little bit more unique in the art style. It's more something closer to like a Hello Kitty, I guess. So something if Miles was here, he would look up this game and eat it all up. So yeah, just one of those signs. Oh, that's cute. And then the next one I have here is a game called Questmaster, which I think for everyone here might be interested because it is basically a Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past dungeon maker.
Yeah, that was one that piqued my interest. I mean, I was thinking, like, has this not... I know that they did that. They added a feature in Link Between Worlds where you could do that, but it wasn't, like, the best.
Yeah, and they also did it in the Link's Awakening remake.
Oh.
And it came and died instantly.
You mean on the DX?
No, the Switch.
Oh,
the one I don't like.
Yes. That's what I was. I think that's mostly what I was trying.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. I don't even. Yeah, I think we're talking about the same thing.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think I'm mixing them up. That's probably what it is. Yeah, but it's like, and now it looks cool. I mean, they're definitely borrowing from Zelda. They're borrowing the hell out of it. Like, they are not even being subtle.
Hey, if you're gonna steal from the best, that's what I say.
But it's so obvious. I mean, I guess obviously it is gonna be obvious, but then they just like, let's have the animations be just like how Zelda or Link does it.
See, he's not a green guy; he's a blue guy. It's different, very different.
But no, it looked cool. It does. I mean, but besides that, it's like that's a cool concept.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm not the biggest like, I'm gonna sit down and create levels, but I'll sit down and play other people's creations. To me, that's the angle. And that one's one that's gonna come out on PC and Switch, and supposedly this year. And all the dates, I will say this now. Everything I'm gonna mention for this whole segment. Who knows? Because game development is crazy, so don't tie me down. I don't know anything more than what you could find on the Googles. Then the next one here is another game that I think they showed before on PlayStation called Demon School, and it seems something right off Persona, which I think you saw this one, didn't you, Frank?
I saw a bit of it.
Did it catch your attention? Didn't do enough for you?
Not really. The other one didn't even catch my attention. The Zelda.
The Zelda one.
Yeah, it's just like I mentioned. Like, don't make me make your game.
I don't want to build in Tears of the Kingdom. I definitely don't want to build in this game either.
Yeah, I'm like, you make the game, I'll play it. Don't give me homework.
I feel the same way. I just think it's cool that exists, that people can do that. So like, I can, like Mario Maker. It's like
that's basically, and and that's the thing. Is like, I didn't make, but I played other people's levels. So that's the same idea.
I'm not gonna get it, but if I'm someone's house and there you go, I'll play it.
I'll play. If you put it on my lap, I guess I'll check it out.
That's how.
And that Persona game, or not Persona, but
basically
looks like Persona.
Yeah,
it's nice, neat.
Grid base, Final Fantasy Tactics. No,
I mean, I'm not gonna like a game just because it's it didn't have the umph, like the special ingredient. So right away I'm like, I'm not gonna like this.
All right, well, I tried. It looks interesting, and that's another thing coming out. That's for Switch, PC, and PS4, but of course PS5 is backwards compatible.
I don't mean to say like it's gonna be bad. It's just like
you're not pre-ordering this
for sure. No, because it could be an amazing game.
Next one, Anton Blast. Is anyone here a fan of the Wario Land games?
No.
No, I didn't.
I never played them, but this seems to be like I don't know if this has sort of been like a resurgence in Wario likes. You know about
Is there?
Pizza Tower is like another.
I have not.
Yeah, that was one that was it just came out. I actually kind of want to play it, but it was like pretty big in like at least from the people that I would follow on the internet, like indie game Twitter circles almost.
Right.
This game would keep on getting like reshared, and I was like, oh, it kind of looks like So this is Anton Blast. The other game. Yeah, but it does the same thing where it's like, it looks like a 90s cartoon almost.
Oh.
Kind of like maybe like a Ren and Stimpy
or
Ed, and Eddie, kind of
right.
crazy. But yeah, it's like and then like this thing was coming out like, it's not out yet, but it's another one, which is like, I'm like, people suddenly are interested in Wario games.
Yeah.
But I never played them.
Yeah, no, I dabbled in a few of them back in the day. My brother Miles, he's the big fan of that series. But just seeing it just seems something like right out of like the Game Boy Advance, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I remember the Game Boy Advance. I have nothing but good memories. So that looked pretty appealing. There's even a demo out for it. So if you need some reinsurance, you go there, and that's gonna show up on everything: PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. So that one really caught my eye the most. Then there's this other one called I don't even know, Evil's Duality. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, it's a speedrunner game, or not speedrunner. You could probably speedrun it though. Blade Runner game. And it looks like more like, I guess it's like a story-driven fighting game. It's kind of weird. It reminds me of something like out of like the Sega CD era, where it's kind of like cool but ugly at the same time. So yeah, it's just one of those, I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but the art style had my attention. It's got like an interesting animation style. So yeah, that's why I wrote that one down. And the last one from the Guerrilla Collective was a game called 30XX. Which apparently is a sequel to a game I think called 20XX, which are basically just Mega Man clones, and Capcom's not making much Mega Man instead of, well, we put out Battle Neckwit, but that's not the Mega Man I want to do. I mean, Neckwit's fine, let me get that credit's fine, but it's not the Mega Man I want, and this one's even more, because it's more like Mega Man X, because I guess the other one was Mega Man. So this one comes out in August 9th, so right around the corner, and this is one's on all the consoles, so it looks pretty good for that one.
I want to play this
one. It's got Frank. All right.
It's got the umph.
It's got that magical stuff. And I think you could do co-op and stuff, so that's kind of interesting, which I don't remember being Mega Man X games. All right, moving on here. There was the OTK Game Expo, which I guess was an online convention, from my understanding. Only a few games here. Zero Slave X, another Super Game selling from like Sega CD / like maybe the Saturn days. It's like a 2D like hack and slash, and you're like some kind of like mecha samurai going around just hacking slashing people, kind of bloody, kind of maybe something kind of like Castlevania-ish, I guess, minus the puzzle effect. But it looks fun and action-packed. That one's also coming out on all the consoles. There's even a demo for it, so you need a selling point. You could check out that one. There's Project Haven, which, if I remember correctly, is something like XCOM, for those who are familiar with XCOM.
Oh, I saw this one. Yeah, this one looked kind of interesting.
And also, to me, what really got me more excited, it reminds me of Valkyria Chronicles, minus the anime aesthetic. It's more cyberpunk once again.
Yeah.
But I like that gameplay where it's like half turn-based, half real-time when you actually take the shot. So that looks good. But that one's, I guess, it's a very, who knows when this is happening? Because I looked it up and apparently it's been kind of on and off here and there, but it's a PC thing only. But it looks good. And then the last one I have here is a game called Ready, Steady, Ship. This is right, once again, if Miles was here, he'd be eccentric, because it's a very simple, cute puzzle-looking guy where you're just kind of running around and like you're like, I guess, working on an Amazon factory ? And trying to get packages and get the lines ready, and you're just trying to solve the puzzles.
This feels like post-apocalyptic, that it's like this is a game that people would play.
Exactly.
Like, and, oh yeah, like you like Amazon, well, come play your own Amazon game.
Exactly.
Like, imagine if it was published by them.
So yeah, and it sounds like maybe it has that kind of humor, perhaps. We'll see, because the trailer.
Oh, that's true. That would be, if they did. Oh, is that what they were doing?
It seems a little, not 100, but a little bit. So maybe if they lean a little bit more on that, actually a little extra humor with the puzzle, I think would be a nice little cute PC game. And that one's supposed to come out supposedly by the end of the year. So the next one, Day of the Devs, which apparently was hosted by what's Tim Schafer? For those who know who Tim Schafer is, from Double Fine, the visual novel guy from the LucasArts days.
Oh, this is a Tim Schafer game?
It's not, but he's hosted. He's like part of this thing. He's trying to push, I guess, these certain games, I guess, ?
Oh, okay, got it.
Because he was like the presenter of this segment or of the showcase. So the first game they had was Hyper Light Breaker, which is kind of a sequel to Hyper Light Drifter, which I know is a popular game, which I've seen, but I have not played. I don't know if anyone else here has played that one. No, okay. Well, I hear very nothing but praise. It's super good. And this new one is, like, I guess, same universe, but a different game style. It's kind of like, I guess, Breath of the Wild, but more action-oriented from what I've seen of it. It looks very promising. Got very, like, neon colors. It's like it kind of reminds me a little, like, neon colors with, what's the game on PlayStation 3 with the desert? You play by yourself, but not by yourself.
Journey?
It kind of has like that aesthetic a little bit where everything's kind of like interesting looking, I guess. So like its art style and the mechanics look pretty solid. They're supposed to be coming out on early access by the end of the year, but that one's also kind of like, I think it's like one guy working on it, something like that. So it's a very independent game. Looks good. More Tony Hawk fans rejoice because Hellskate is another game
that one looked cool.
Yeah, which looks more like Tony Hawk, and apparently it has developers who worked on the Tony Hawk franchise back in the day.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's always a good feeling. And yeah, it looks like Tony Hawk, but it's got more of like a Hades. For those who playing Hades, like kind of has like an art aesthetic and thing going on, and with a little light combat here and there. But yeah, that one looked really good. At the moment, that's only for PC. Hopefully that comes out on other systems because that one, I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the idea because I think Tony Hawk is. I mean, I replayed the HD collections. Those are freaking so good. The new one they did, so good. But I do feel like it does show its age a little bit. True. So I feel like if this has like, and if they have the same people working on it, and they can just kind of like give it that oomph.
Yeah, the thing Frank's looking for. Oomph, this will be the one, Frank.
Yeah. Well, if you like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. We'll throw in a Spider-Man Wolverine for you.
Yeah. Then that could be cool. That's all I'm saying.
All right, there you go. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Then maybe this might be up Frank's, but maybe not. Did you see the Eternal Night? Is that what it's called? Eternal Nights? Nights?
I didn't get to see it.
Oh, you didn't see it. So this is more of a very anime-focused kind of art style. And it's like an interesting clash of like JRPG with a visual novel aspect. It's very kind of weird, but something I feel like if back in the day when I was in high school, I'd be like, I would eat this shit up all the time. This one comes out soon on September 21st. It's for PC and PlayStation 4/5. I won't lie, it doesn't have like that crisp, clean anime aesthetic from Japan, but it kind of has like this, like, we're Americans and we really love anime. We don't want to do it, but we're going to shoot for it anyway, kind of atmosphere and vibe to it. And I just like that weird anytime when you could like throw in some visual novel bullshit, I'm kind of interested in. So for that reason alone, that's why that's on here. Simpler Times is a PC only game coming out next year, and it is. Have anyone played? I think it's called Unboxing, Unwrapping, Unpacking. No. Okay. Well, in that game, it's a very like, I guess what the kids would call lo-fi game. It's just about the music, and in that particular game, you're just kind of like, it's about someone's history, or like, I guess their history, where they're like, oh, I'm in this stage of my life, I'm doing this stage, and like you're like moving in and moving out. And it's very kind of like it's very atmospheric, kind of like a Journey, I guess, maybe the closest thing I could think, despite the gameplay is nothing at all like Journey. But yeah, this is similar like that, where it's like kind of a narrative focused thing. Like think of Gone Home, but not maybe as spooky is another example. If anyone played Gone Home, where it's kind of lo-fi.
Or is it like Firewatch or whatever, kind of like that? No.
Kind of. I haven't played Firewatch particularly, but my brother has, and he told me about it. But it's one of those just kind of like you're in the mood and the atmosphere, and you're just kind of reflecting kind of on this particular person's life, and you're understanding what they've been through and this and that. And I kind of like those games, though it's hard to be in that mood. But when I get in that mood, I do enjoy those games. So that looked good. And then the last one here, Viewfinder, which I think PlayStation has also shown this before. This is very much more like a what's it? Not Subnautica. Subliminal? No, what's the shit? There's this puzzle game where it's about perspective. And depending on how big and things you have, certain things, you solve the puzzle based on that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've seen
the
name.
Yeah, I forget the name. I haven't played it before, but
it's pretty new, right?
Yeah, it's relatively new, and it's kind of, I guess, like a Portal-ish.
Yeah.
And that's what this game makes me think of. It's very much both those games put together, where you're in a situation and you have a certain ability or two, and you have to think about it, like, how do I solve this? So it's one of those, like, oh, this looks good, and finally it's a, kind of a, gotta think. It's a thinker, I guess. This comes out around the corner next month on July 18th, and there's a demo out now. So if you need a sizzle reel, you can check that one on both on PC and PlayStation. And moving along here, Summer Game Fest, the official, I guess, the real champion of E3, the Jeff Keighley show. So these are bigger titles, I think, and I think hopefully you guys have some maybe thoughts on these. So my first one is Alan Wake 2. I mentioned before on the podcast, I'm a big fan of the original, and apparently I never thought there would be a sequel, but here it is all these years later. And so far, apparently it's coming out this year, and I still don't believe that. And I talked about on one of the episodes of the podcast talking about games to look forward to. This made the list. Wow. And yeah, seeing it so far, they didn't show a lot, but they showed enough to make me go like, yeah, it's the Alan Wake I remember. And it's got like a dual story thing happening, which sounds interesting, which I don't see very much in video games. So that alone already has my interest. It's coming out on the major consoles as well, not just Xbox. But yeah, it looks pretty. So, and Control is really good. So same developers. So fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, I never played that one, but the first one. But you're making me realize how old it is because we were talking about our old job a few minutes ago, and someone at our job was telling me about that game when we worked way back then. Back then. Oh, this new game came out. It's Alan Wake. It's really cool. And I'm like thinking like, oh my god, that was so long ago. That was like. Is that like 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
Something like that.
It's really
old. 360 was just around.
It's like it's almost like the span between avatars almost like.
Ouch! I didn't even think about that, but you're not wrong.
It's like this is how long it took them to do a second one.
They had to buy back the rights from Microsoft to make this happen. Wow! Because Microsoft technically owned the property.
Wow! And did they want to? Well, I guess they probably did that because of, or they probably did. Oh, what's that game called? They did a different game after Alan Wake.
They did. Oh, the FMV basically.
The woman that does the psychotic
Control.
Yeah, Control.
No, but there's a game in between that also was published by Microsoft. The one that had what was that game? It was so bad. What was it?
Quantum Leap.
Something like. I don't think it. Yes.
Maybe
because it has the guy who sadly recently passed away. He's in that game too.
Huh.
I forget. Anyway, off topic. Anyway, Alan Wake 2 looks really good, and I like Remedy in general, so I look forward to that hopefully coming out this year before Halloween. And of course, it wouldn't be a normal episode of Taco Otaku unless I talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. And here we go. Sonic Superstars. Apparently a new 2D Sonic game for the new generation. I want to be excited for it. It does look good. I like the graphic styles. It's classic Sonic the way I think of him in my head. It's not like... The problem is, and here's what got me nervous, and I imagine a lot of Sonic fans, this kind of makes me think of Sonic 4.
I was gonna say that. Oh my god. I thought the exact same thing. I was like, I saw this game 15 years ago, and
it blew chunks.
Yeah.
It was fucking terrible. But, and so here's the thing. So I had to look into it. Because my question, who is making this? Is this the Sonic Mania people? Because Sonic Mania is amazing. I love Sonic Mania. It's not the Sonic Mania people. Okay, please tell me it's not Sonic Team. It's kind of Sonic Team. Ooh, okay, that's not what I want to hear. But it's someone else. Okay, who else is it? And apparently the other co-developer, I forget the name, but it's a relatively new studio, and it's a bunch of ex-Sega/Sonic people, including the original character designer of Sonic the Hedgehog, the guy who actually made Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, wow.
He is the president of this company and is working on this game.
Oh.
So if you're a fan of Sonic CD, because he made Sonic CD, long history about the Sonic CD and Sonic 2 development cycle. So I'm overall feeling good, and the biggest thing I felt good about and learned today is apparently both developers, they took the Sonic Mania physics and applied that into this game. And Sonic Mania physics are the right Sonic physics in my opinion. Because the guy who made Sonic Mania kind of said on Twitter, oh yeah, they're using what we did for Sonic Mania in this game. So that makes me feel a lot better. It looks real good. It's got like the co-op thing where you can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy all together, which I don't know, because it makes me think of new Super Mario Bros., which that doesn't, that works maybe okay for 2 people, not up to 4. But sure, I'll play it by myself. I'll throw in my brother Miles. He can play Tails. It fits. But that's gonna come on the new console supposedly in the year. We don't have a date, but it looks. I want to get excited for it. And now doing my research, doesn't look good. Frank, are we gonna play Sonic together? Sonic Superstars together?
You pick me up.
All right, fair enough. All right, we can make that happen. It does support local play. You can make this happen. The next one here, a quick one. As an anime fan, Sandland I know Andy doesn't know what Sandland is.
Oh, I do. No,
wait, you do know what Sandland?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know what Sandland is? Is my first question, Andy.
It's a great question. So when I went to Comic-Con, maybe 2009 or 10.
Uh-huh.
They what's Naruto's the company that like puts out
Shonen Jump.
It was the shonen preview manga.
Oh.
And it had a bunch of like, here comes some things that are you might like this year, and that was one of them. It was a preview. It was the beginning of Sandland.
Oh.
And I remember actually being interested in the story. Like I was like, oh, I would like to. I never did it, but I was like, I like this universe.
Right.
And then I saw that and I was like, oh snap! Now I can maybe.
There you go. Now's the time.
Explore it. Yeah.
Now you can explore the whole world.
Yeah. And I was thinking, I wonder if it's gonna be like the Kakarot game, where it's like, well, I guess all Dragon Ball Z games are kind of like telling the story again.
Right.
But like, I wonder if it's gonna do a thing like that, where it's like, oh, we're gonna do the beginning to the end of the manga.
I hope. Well, I don't know, because it's a very short clip, the trailer, but it does kind of like your typical like, I guess, action-oriented or JRPG kind of question mark from the little they show. They do know the art style, so that's always a plus, because I like Dragon Ball, I like Toriyama's art.
Yeah.
So they did that right. But the thing with Sandland, it's only 1 volume long. It's not a very long series at all. So
it's just one little book.
One book.
Oh.
So it's so it's not very long at all, and I like it. It's a short story, but it's a very good short story in my opinion. So I'm assuming they're just gonna have to like pad up this thing to make it a full game, in my opinion, unless the game's particularly short. I'm surprised they're making a game at all, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
I guess they're hoping the Toriyama name will carry it through, which I don't know.
I know that's quite a kind of a risk in a way.
Yeah, because there is a movie coming out in Japan this summer.
Oh.
There's no announcement for a Western release for it, but it looks all right. It's a CG done, but we talked about before on this. I think you were here on that episode, Frank, but we talked about Dragon Ball Superhero with the CG, and we all seem to like that movie. So if it's those same people, it has potential to pull it off the CG look. Despite I know a lot of people go like, "Oh, roll their eyes" when they see anime CG. But either way, for the video game, I'm surprised this video game's happening, and hey, it might be all right. It's Namco and Bandai. They usually make decent stuff, so it's a little something at a discount price. I'll check it out. Let me ask you, Frank. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Are we interested?
Yeah, it's the
mobile game.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. At first, I was not too interested because of like it looked like it was just the remake of 7.
Right.
But the video that they showed that. They added some stuff, so I'm gonna see what's up with that.
Okay. I am kind of like on the fence because
I'm excited about it, but
you will check it out.
I feel like I'm obligated to play.
You have to. It says Final Fantasy in the name. Legally, you have to, Frank. That's what the contract says. Yeah, it's one of those. Like, I'm kind of curious because I'm a casual Final Fantasy fan, but 7 is probably one of my favorites. So I am curious, but at the same time, the mobile game and like the whole, I don't know, I'm scared like all the microtransaction bullshit that's probably associated with it. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. I don't know.
I don't mind that because I don't have the temptation like, oh, I have to buy it. It's just like, I get it.
Just grind out.
Do it the old way.
The old fashioned way. So yeah, I am curious, but it's not the Final Fantasy VII game I'm most excited about. Let's put it that way. What else do I have here? Lies of P. I don't know if anyone's seen this game, cares about this game.
I might have just skimmed past it.
Yeah, I don't know. The reason I care about it, and I wrote it down, it looks like Bloodborne, and I like me some Bloodborne. And apparently it's like a weird Pinocchio world, apparently, and that's the P in the name.
Okay.
Where you're like like I said, like Bloodborne, Dark Souls-like character who's got to save Geppetto, I guess, question mark?
Oh, so is it almost like a Grimm's fairy tale?
Kind of, yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like Grimm's stuff. That stuff's interesting.
Yeah, so it kind of has that vibe.
I skipped this video, but I did see it. And then now that he mentioned that, it would be cool because you said Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It would be cool if it was like that Alice game.
Yeah. It's kind of
Pinocchio.
Yeah, that's what it has. That vibe. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Exactly.
Okay, now maybe I should look at that. That sounds cool.
And apparently there's a demo. I'll help it.
Wait, for PC and
yeah, I think it's on everything: PC, PlayStation, Xbox. You can check it out, and that one's not too far off. It's September 19th this year. So check out the demo. I haven't got I wanted to check it out, but I haven't got a chance to because I haven't played the Dark Souls, but I did play a lot of Bloodborne, and I like that one quite a bit.
Man, that Alice game was scary.
Back in the day.
It looked scary. I was always like,
the first one.
I was always like, I don't want to look at these pictures in the magazine. They're so creepy.
Right.
That stuff used to scare me.
Right. Then now we're gonna have to pause the podcast, because now it's gonna be the Frank show for the next 20 minutes. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Frank. What do we think? What do we think? Are we happy? You wanted it, and here it is, Frank.
Yes, I'm happy. I still have a lot of questions. It looks like you just mentioned there aren't many games with duality timelines, or it looks like it's gonna have a dual timeline.
Hmm.
More like, think of it as Final Fantasy VIII, where you play the main story and then occasionally you play as Laguna. So it looks like occasionally you're gonna play as Zack. And that's gonna be the different timeline.
Right. I guess I could see that now. Huh.
What I'm hoping for is that, I mean, at least there are hints for it, and that's what
I hear. I haven't, because I personally I still haven't played the 7 remake, or I only played like the first few hours and haven't finished it. I need to do that before this comes out.
This is a sequel to that, right?
This is a sequel to the 7 remake.
Well, I don't know.
Which is not the original 7.
I guess I already said it, but basically at the end of the first remake, there seems to be a split timeline. So it looks like they're gonna continue that in the second one.
Right.
At least that's what it seems like. They could totally change.
Right. Who knows? Right.
But that's kind of exciting because we'll get to experience the original game.
Right.
Plus see what
with the twist.
So it's a big debate in my head myself.
How do they tell 2 stories at the same time though? Do they just jump between them? This is happening in this one, and this happened in this one, or do you choose one? If you're like, I want to do this, or I want to do this.
That is a good question. I think it's just gonna jump. But there are some people who think that the original game is gonna be on one disc, and then the other one's gonna be the other disc.
Oh,
that's interesting. But it's a 2-disc game.
It's gonna be.
It is a. They did emphasize at the end of the trailer 2 discs.
Is the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I buy that theory.
Well, it's one of those. I think technically it's 2 discs, but one game is the install disc and one's like the game disc. So
I just hope.
I don't know what they mean by 2 discs. Just like the original. Ooh, I remember the original. Swapping disc. Oh, that's crazy.
It's my fear that they will do 2 discs and be like, well, disc 1 comes out early next year.
Oh my god.
I hope they don't.
I didn't even think about that. Usually I think about that, but I didn't think. Thanks. Now I have this thought in my head.
That would happen too.
Oh my god.
That would so happen.
Frank, how could you do this to me?
They're gonna do the whole Attack on Titan thing. They're like,
oh god, the Final Fantasy VII Final Part 1.29, 69/2 or whatever Kingdom Hearts title. Pick your favorite Kingdom Hearts title.
I mean, it would make sense because I feel like there's so much to get through. But please don't do that.
Yeah, that's the thing is because the first game, despite I don't know a lot of it, but it's all in Midgard. In the original, you're like in Midgard for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So like, how far are you gonna get in this game? Because it's supposed to be 3 of them all together to finish the story of 7. So it's like that's a lot of stuff they got to do in this game in order to assume we got to do most of the storyline in 2 games. And the Final Fantasy VII storyline in itself is already kind of like nonsense, but of course, like I kind of like it and hate it at the same time. I'm just like Kingdom Hearts, I guess.
I'm looking forward to all the iconic moments. And
that's true.
Cinematic,
right? Old PS5 out, yeah.
Not like old ass PlayStation.
The little chibi characters.
They're just like polygons as bodies.
And yet the cutscene's like, oh, it's super serious. Look at, they're so realistic looking. Look at them driving on that motorcycle, escaping the city. Whoa!
I'm really curious how they're gonna change. So I think that they could change it and have like because I don't know if it's a tease or if they're really gonna change it.
Right.
But they're teasing that they're gonna change things.
Right. All right, because Sephiroth is in the first game, which is weird.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for you either.
I know. Gotta catch up.
So it's just like I don't know if they're gonna change it.
Or how much are they gonna go crazy?
Or if they're just teasing, they're gonna change it and keep it the same.
Right.
Or now that there's like a split timeline thing, go sell everything how it was in the original timeline, and then change what they want to change in the other one. But the thing is, I think they're gonna merge.
That would make the most sense.
Because
if
why
they were to do that?
Why say 2 timelines if they're not gonna relate to each other? It's
right.
Tell 2 stories. So I think something's weird about that. And then because Sephiroth comes out in the first one,
right?
He seems to know a lot.
Yeah, he does. The little I played of it,
So
was like,
it's almost like Sephiroth knows what happened in the original game.
Oh, I didn't think about it.
And then
like
there's
that.
another person that knows what, like Aerith seems to know too.
Oh.
And then
now that you say that,
and then you get visions of the original game.
Right. That's why I was very confused when I played. I was kind of like, because it was one of those like, I haven't played this game in a long time. Am I misremembering this, or what's happening right now? Huh.
Yeah,
blow my mind here, Frank.
It gives me hope that they're gonna change.
Right.
But at the same time, if they do change those things, it would be kind of bad.
I feel like it's got to be something. They're gonna change it, but they can't dramatically change. I don't think.
Here's what I think. Here's what I hope happens. I want the original game to happen.
Right.
Because that was great. The way everything happened. But I wanted to have like a alternate ending kind of thing where you can change things.
That would be interesting.
That way we get to experience, the original plus
the new story, DLC unlocked.
Because I don't know if it happened to you, but there seemed to be like I played the original, kind of like with my dream with Link. Like there's the secret white armor, and I kept thinking there's a secret ending on this game. There has to be. This can't be.
This can't be it. Have you seen Advent Children?
So no, yes I have. So I don't know. It's they can go a lot of different ways, but besides the story part, there's a lot of kind of exciting gameplay things.
Yeah.
So like dual techniques.
Right. I love that shit.
It seems like you're gonna be able to swap mid battle between characters.
Right.
And that's cool. I don't know if because I watched the video that they talked about it in depth.
Oh, I see.
And there's a part where it's Red 13, Cloud, and Barrett, and you see Red 13 fighting, and then in the background you see Aerith, but she's there, but she's not in the party because you see it's Red 13, Cloud. So they're there, and then way in the back, Tifa's like really tiny there, like cheering, like hey, you got
it, guys, you got it.
So it seems like it's gonna be Final Fantasy X style, like you press L2 and then they'll swap in. That's gonna be so cool.
That would be real good.
I'm looking forward to how that's gonna go. And
early 2024, supposedly, Frank.
2 discs.
2 discs. It looks good. I'm pretty hype about it. I'm very excited. And once again, I guess between now and fall, I gotta finish the first remake. Let's see here. And then last one here is a quick one here. And this is mostly for my brother Miles. Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name, is the new entry in the Yakuza series. Or I guess it's like the in-between, because there's 2 games, which I'll talk about in a sec. The other one.
It's related to Yakuza?
Yes. Because they changed. Have you played the Yakuza series?
I've been tasked to play them because I heard they're like a must-play.
They're pretty good. I'm a little... I stopped at 4. Miles, he's plowed through, I think, all of them, at this point, and he's a huge fan of them.
Yeah, I gotta get on them.
Yeah, they're really good games, and now they have them on PS4 too, so they're pretty easy to play because they started on the PS2.
Are they like is it like a HD remake?
Yeah, they HD because they did remakes of the first. Well, so there's 0, which is technically a new game, but it's like everyone's favorite. Then they made a remake of 1 and 2. Then they re-released 3 because 3 actually did come out in the West after delay, but they gutted the game because like, oh, Westerners don't want to play all this Japanese bullshit. So they gutted that out. No one liked it, did terrible. And then the series looked like it was going to be dead with 4, but 4 was like the best game and it kind of brought back the series.
Oh, that's cool.
And then Sega got scared but they let Sony publish the next games. Then they did really well. And then Sega went like, oh shit, you people like this franchise? Well, then here you go. And that's when 0 came out, because 0 was like the newest game at the time, and then from then they've been pumping them out. And this is like the new one, which is more traditional Yakuza, because with the last Yakuza game, it was a turn-based JRPG, which is very different versus the beat-em-ups. But this is more of the beat-em-ups, and this is supposedly the last story dealing with the main character Kiryu. That's the name of the guy, because the new guy is a different guy, different name. I forget his name. But this one come out before the end of the year on November 6th, and it's on your PlayStations, your Xbox, and PC. So look forward to that. Devolver Direct, they always have a spectacle. Apparently the Talos Principle 2, I don't know if anyone's played that. No. It's another Portal-like puzzle game. Yeah. Once again, if Miles was here, I think he played it and he liked it quite a bit. So I imagine he's excited about that. I have not, but it's a Portal-like, and I can appreciate him, as I mentioned before. That looks good. And Human Fall Flat 2. Once again, I don't know if anyone's played that one.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's fun.
It's silly. It's silly, fun, little cute something to play on your PC with some friends. Yeah. So they announced that, and that looks good. But that's all. It's coming along. Shocker. If they made money for the developers and their indies, they're probably gonna do it one more time.
Yeah.
The Wholesome Direct, aka the Miles Direct, because every game was right up Miles' alley. It was basically Harvest Moon. Couple games here. Maybe this one I could sell to Andy. Little Nino and the Guardians of Slumberland. I don't know if you saw this one.
I did. It was very... Why me?
Because it's like an old school Mario platformer, and Frank is not an old school Mario platformer.
It looks... I don't know. The trailer was just like... It felt like very geared towards like little
kids.
Little
kids. But you're doing like me? Mario Brothers 2 things. Yeah. Why me? You don't like cute things, Andy?
It's just like
you're a tough right. Only Doom for me.
Yeah, like the voiceover is like, and then.
Okay, the trailer wasn't great. I looked at the gameplay. The gameplay, I focused on what I was seeing. Not so much what I was hearing.
That actually maybe put me off more than what I was. I
could see what you mean.
And I was just like, no.
I was looking at the gameplay. I was looking at what's happening on screen. And I'm like, oh, this is like an old school platformer. I like old school.
Ruined it for me.
All right. Well, I tried. Isn't
it based on a movie? Little Nemo, right?
There is a movie called that. I don't think it has any association. I don't think. Maybe it does. Oh. But yeah, it's a very cute 2D platformer, supposedly within the year. We'll see what happens on PC and Switch. And then here's this one. What's magical? What is this? Oh, Delicacy. Right. This is the... this reminds me of another indie game. What was it called? It was basically Iron Chef, the video game. I talked about it many moons ago. That was a good game. It reminds me of that. It's got the anime aesthetic, which of course I'm a sucker for. And it's one of those kind of more relaxing, calm. Hey, I'm gonna be a chef, and I gotta find these ingredients. Kind of like if we didn't have Ganondorf running around Tears of the Kingdom, and you just wanted to cook away. Maybe that's what this game's like. So this is on Xbox and PC, and if you're a Game Pass user, it'll supposedly comes out in 2024. So if you're already a member, you could check it out. Sushi Ben, one of the few VR games here, exclusively on the PSVR 2 ? Once again, you're making food, dealing with sushi in VR, and it looks kind of cute in anime, so that's good enough for me. And then the last one, and probably the one I was most excited out of the showcase, was the Fields of Mystria. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is just this is like Stardew Valley, but on the Super Nintendo with more anime aesthetics. Yeah. Which I like Stardew Valley. I like 90s anime, so sign me up. So that one I'm very excited for. This is not coming out until 2024 at the earliest, it looks like. But that one, as I said, is a casual Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Stardew Valley fan. A lot of slashes there. Mm-hmm. I look forward to that one. Future Games Summer Showcase, or Show Summer, apparently. Apparently this does the thing. This is like basically a lot of PC stuff. Resistor, for those who like Burnout. I remember Burnout. It's one of those racing games, but more arcade style, and it's like maybe a little Mad Maxy, I guess. It kind of looks like by its vibes. Very cartoony style. This is on all major platforms, including PC. Who knows when, but that looks good. The Last Faith, another, like, what am I talking about? There's so many games. Oh, this was the Metroidvania, Castlevania style kind of game. I am a sucker for those kind of games, and it'll come out in time in October on all the major consoles. So look forward to that. On Guard, actually, this looks pretty good. I guess this was like a student game at some point. It's it looks like it kind of reminds. It's like a simple but fun game. It's very like, for those familiar with, like, I guess the show movies of Zorro. Yeah. It's kind of like that, but with a female version, I guess. Yeah. You're just kind of swashbuckling your way and fighting guys. It kind of looks like it's a simple but fun combat style, maybe like Batman, the Arkham Asylum games. Kind of getting about that vibes. It looks pretty good. That's PC only. There's a demo out for it, so if you need a selling point. And it's supposed to be coming out in August, so it's one of those really caught my eye, and I like the aesthetic. Moving out to another like party, silly, fun game for those to play. I know me and Miles, we played it. That was on Game Pass. So there's a sequel. Once again, it's an indie team, but it's fun, silly, more of nonsense, moving things around and getting into shenanigans and breaking things along the way to get the job done. Just like I said, light, fun, something on the Switch, perhaps. For those, once again, this is something like out of, once again, like Saturn, PlayStation 1 era. Ruffy and the Riverside, apparently.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
It's a very 2D, 3D game, kind of like Paper Mario on steroids, I guess, kind of, with it's like, but it's aesthetic of dimensions.
But if like Paper Mario was in like a Mario 64 world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a clashing of 2D, 3D. I just found it very refreshing. It kind of reminds, like, this thing from like PlayStation 1 Saturn days. Remind me of, was it Sonic Extreme, the canceled Sonic game for the Saturn? Because it was trying to do that plain perspective thing, kind of, but Sonic Extreme was terrible. Go look at footage online for those who don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this one looks interesting. It's another like mascot platformer, something out of the air, and I'm a sucker for those. And hopefully early 2024 ? On that one, they said at the end of the trailer. Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. They showed this. I don't know what the game is, but I'm interested just because it looks so weird and it's got famous voice actors. And I get maybe I'm assuming there's like a story narrative to tie all this nonsense together, which I like weird story-driven games, as we talked before, Majora's Mask, and it maybe has it. I don't know. Dealing with your I guess you're trying to, like, I don't know, swoon the gods. I don't know. It looked weird, but it had my attention for that reason.
Is it like is it kind of like a choose your own adventure, but the adventure you choose dictates like the kind of music and style, right?
That'd be my guess.
Yeah, that's what it's. All right, I barely.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone saw the trailer, but
I did a little bit. But I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100%.
There's very little of the game, but it had famous voice actors. So I'm like,
who was?
Well, the famous voice actor. Well, she actually hosted the event. Laura Bailey, I think that's her name. I could name every bunch of anime things, but you wouldn't get it.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking like a Hollywood star.
No. Voice actress. Yes. People I would know.
I was like,
Lucina for Frank.
Oh, yeah. I'm in.
And also for Frank from last episode, Mary Jane.
I'm out.
One he likes more than the other. Let's say that. And then the last one, Cookie. Was Cookie kind of like the weird, like, dystopic / gruesome 2D smash? Yeah, that's what it is.
It was like a beat 'em up Metroidvania.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And it has like the weird cookie cutter. The name is strange.
Yeah, and then the fact the art style, it's kind of cute, but then this little robot Astro Boy girl's like just ripping out monsters or something.
Yeah. Like,
so
just super gory.
Yeah. So just the contrast had my interest, and 2D something supposedly this summer. So look forward to that one. Possibly on PC only, and maybe something else in the future. All right, maybe now we're going to get Frank's attention back again, because now we're talking about the Xbox Game Showcase. Let's just talk about Persona 3 Reloaded. How are we feeling about Persona 3 Reloaded, Frank?
Well, I heard about it, and I played it, and...
You played it?
Not.
Who do you know,
not
Frank?
The new...
Why didn't you take me with you, Frank?
You gotta get to the status.
Gotta work my way up there.
When you're ready.
All right. Let me know when I'm ready, because I'm ready for any day, Frank. Put me in there.
What I meant to say, I played the, original-ish one, Persona FES.
Oh, Fez.
Fez. And I just thought they were just gonna release it again, and now on the Switch, or now.
Oh, like a port of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was skimming through some of the videos before the podcast. I'm like, wait, this looks new. This looks like if they made Persona 3 today.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it is.
And I'm like, oh,
now I have your attention.
You have my attention, but not enough.
Just the bare minimum.
No, it's just if I was like, I needed a fix to play something. Like I didn't have such a big backlog. I would get it.
I can see what you mean.
But just because it looks nicer, I don't want to. It's a daunting task to play Persona.
What if I told you, and I don't know that this is me guessing, but what if I told you, Frank, we got Persona 4 Golden passing abilities? That's sweeten the deal for you, Frank?
Persona 4 passing abilities?
Yeah, from Golden. Skills. When you do fusions. Because in Original 3 and in Original 4, you can't pass on skills.
Oh.
Because to me, that was when I played Persona 3, I just remember thinking, and I didn't know this because I didn't play Golden yet. I remember thinking, why the fuck can I pass down? Pikachu could choose what moves he forgets in Pokemon. Why the fuck is that not the case in Persona 3?
Oh,
so what if
it's random in 3?
Yeah, it's random.
Okay.
In 3 and in Original 4, it's random. Because to me, that'd be like my first thing on the wish list for this game.
No.
No?
No.
What would you want?
Oh, I want more. I want to quit my job and have time to play it.
Well, there's that, but refer to the game, Frank. What would you want in a Persona 3 remake?
If they added content,
all new stuff, okay.
Not just polish it, add content to it, like
I hear they have. How much I don't know.
Substantial or
that's the word. Or
they added a new restaurant and you could
right, yeah, probably. So here's what I know about this game, because I was very curious, and I just like with the Sonic game, I try to look as much as I could. What all we know so far is it is Persona 3 remake. The added stuff into it, what I don't know, but the big asterisk and kind of concern is it is based on Persona 3, not Persona Portable, not Persona 3 Fez, Persona 3. And the problem is Fez has like the true ending most fans consider in that game. So apparently in this remake, they're not going to have...
There's a different ending in Fez?
Yes, Fez has like I forget what it's called, but it's called something.
Can you get the original ending in Fez, or is it like you always get
you can? It's from what I haven't played Fez, but I started Fez, but then I never got very far in it. But the true ending is its own side content. It's called something else, but it's only in Fez.
Oh, is that the different game where it's post?
Yes, it's the sequel basically.
Oh, that shit's hard.
Yeah, well, that's what I've heard. I guess I don't know for that fact, but that's what I heard. But
that's fine then, like, cause that's its own thing.
Yeah, it's its own thing. But like most people are like, whoa, that's the real ending.
Why
right?
not include it?
Why not include it? Right, that's a lot of people's thought, and my initial thought, despite I don't know much about it.
I never finished it because it's so hard.
Oh, that's surprising.
Well, actually, it's more like a combination of hard and other games coming out. And
I'm like, yeah, that'll do it.
But I didn't see a problem with the original ending. Like,
no, it's fine. I mean, assuming it's the same as Portable's endings, because that's the one I played.
Now I'm curious, what could the ending be that there people are like, oh, we have to have
it? I don't know,
because it looked kind of stupid to me. Like,
oh really?
Like they added it, just so you can play.
Huh. That's which would make sense because Fez did come out years later.
It didn't seem like
to sell it again. Right?
I mean, I guess I didn't get far enough, but it didn't seem substantial enough for me to say like this.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm very excited because I know me and Miles, we talked about like, man, I really wish they would just remake Persona 3 because it's been a long time.
But you know what?
There's good stuff in that game.
The more we talking about it, I think I might actually have to play it.
Oh, there you go. I'm doing my job. Atlas, where's my check? And apparently, if you're an Xbox, and so that's the weird thing is this, and then the other Persona game we'll talk about in a sec is so far only confirmed for PC and Xbox at the moment.
I'm out.
But it's part of Game Pass, Frank.
Game Pass is Xbox?
Yes.
I'm out.
It's also PC.
I have to finish the computer.
There we go. With something goal. We all have goals in our lives. That could be one of them. So yeah, there you go. So look forward to that in early 2024. Apparently, the Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is a game that it's apparently been, I think, talked about for like 4 years at this point, something like that. I haven't played the first one. I know nothing but good things. It is at least a very cool looking, like just, oh, we could do this with today's technology. That's crazy with motion capture. And I hear it's a lot of like a very story driven stuff and deals with all like mental health kind of issues going on. So I hear nothing but good things, but hopefully we got an update for that. That's still be part of Game Pass, and hopefully sometime in 2024. There's that. The new Like a Dragon, aka Yakuza Infinity Wealth, is going to come out on Xbox, PS4, PC in early 2024, and this is the turn-based sequel to the last Yakuza, which I think was called Yakuza Like a Dragon. I think that's how that works. That gets confusing, but it shows the new guy in a funny situation, and he's not in Japan ? But probably Hawaii would be my guess, or Okinawa. We'll see what happens. Capcom showed this new game, which seems to be maybe a successor to like Onimusha, if anyone who's played Onimusha.
Oh, it's like samurai thing. Right?
Yeah, samurai stuff. And it's, what is it called? Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess. That's coming on Xbox and PlayStation, but if you got Game Pass, there you go. It's also going to be on that. Very Onimusha-like, vaguely colorful art style of Okami also. It's kind of a weird mixing of art styles where it's a bunch of, feudal Japan demons, but they're also kind of colorful. So it's kind of interesting looking. Maybe plays like Onimusha / Devil May Cry. I don't know 100%. But it was very interesting looking, and it's a Capcom game, so it has my interest for that reason alone. Persona 5 Tactica, I think. What do you think, Frank? Are we interested? Turn-based, grid-based Persona 5 chibi style.
At first, I was not interested because it reminded me a lot about Persona Q.
Right.
And I don't know why I couldn't get into those games. I have both of them, and I just can't start.
Nope.
So I was a little bit like, But then I saw that it's kind of like tactics.
Yes.
But I want to say it's more like Fire Emblem instead of tactics.
Maybe.
That's the vibes
I have to
I'm getting.
go look at it again.
Yeah, because it looks like you're moving in the grid, and then you have a attack radius, and then when you attack, it goes into like the Fire Emblem point of view, and I'm guessing they're gonna do their attack, and it's gonna zoom out again.
Gotta go rewatch it. Too busy looking at Persona 3.
So I'm like, okay, now I'm kind of interested because yeah, I'm this one. I'm about to look a little more into it, but I might get this one too. I do like the characters in Persona 5.
Right.
If this was Persona 3, I don't think I would get it.
I could see that.
Because I'm not as invested in the Persona 3 characters, but 5 and 4.
Yeah. Which is better, 4 or 5?
4.
Attaboy, Frank. This is why you're on the podcast, Frank. That's the right answer I want to hear. So yeah, that one comes out this year on November 17th. Once again, part of Game Pass, and also currently only confirmed for PC and Xbox. But
what?
What's
going on here?
Are they PlayStation?
I had to Google this and double check. Wait, so they didn't announce, because I thought like, oh yeah, on the Xbox, of course they're gonna have the Xbox for sure. But afterwards they'd be like, oh, also on PlayStation. But at the moment, it has not been confirmed for
That's crazy.
PlayStation. But my guess is, because I think this is what they did this with the Persona. All right, Portable 3 and 4 Golden, and then 5 is they had a limited exclusive, like maybe like 6 months on Xbox before it came out on PlayStation.
I'll just wait the 6 months.
Yeah, which is what I'm gonna do, unless I have Game Pass, which maybe I might. Just for that, maybe I will check it out. That'd be my excuse to justify the Game Pass purchase. But yeah, that comes out at the end of the year, so that looks tempting. I do like my turn-based tactical games. Then there's this game. I don't even know, Jusant. That's what I'm gonna go with here, and it's basically Breath of the Wild climbing edition, basically.
Oh, I think I saw it.
Yeah, and for me, and I don't know how you guys felt about it, but for me, with Breath of the Wild, and really more Breath of the Wild than Tears of the Kingdom, with Breath of the Wild, I found a lot of enjoyment with like rock climbing, being like, okay, I need to get up there. I could reach that ledge, take a break, and then if I do this and do that. There was something about it I found very soothing and calming, and yet, successful. I was like, I made it to the top. Like, yes, I did it. Goal accomplished. And that's basically what this game is, with more mechanics dealing with rock climbing kind of stuff going on. But yeah, but it's very like, kind of like hanging out with nature kind of vibes. And like, I just like the simple, like, I'm just going to climb this mountain and figure out how to do it. I like simple puzzle games, and it looks like it could be one. Back to Frank. Metaphor Refantasio, Frank. AKA the new Persona that's not Persona, but it's basically Persona.
Oh, this one.
What are we feeling?
I hope it comes out during the downtime of my gameplays.
Hopefully, no big games.
It reminds me a lot of Persona 3 because the main character looks like he's the main character from Persona 3.
That definitely does.
And then one of the other 2 characters looks like the guy from Part 4.
Yes, yes.
And then there's I think third guy with red hair, which just reminds me of the red hair girl from Persona 5 Royal.
Oh, right. Kasumi, I think that's right.
I don't remember.
I'm shooting from the hip.
So it looks like a mixture between 3, 4, 5 plus Shin Megami Tensei.
Yes, well, it kind of is like, Persona with a little bit more Shin Megami Tensei, which is funny because it's a spinoff of Shin Megami Tensei.
I've never played Shin Megami Tensei, but I think I would like those games.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I feel the same way and haven't done the same thing.
I just haven't had time to get to them, and
I have 1 or 2 of them. Yeah.
But I think I would like this game. I'm just hoping it comes out during a time that I'm not busy with other games.
It would be nice. Yeah, it looks like another big, long JRPG full of anime nonsense, which I do tend to like.
I wonder if it's going to be like social, like, how
hanging out with people, increasing your power.
I didn't see anything like
it. Didn't from the trailer. No, it didn't show that.
If it's just pure action, I think I'm more likely to get it. But if it's both, I'm like, I don't know if I want to, because it's a lot of. When I play a game, I don't just like get through it. I'm like, I turn every corner,
right. You want to see every nook and cranny.
So if it has that other aspect of it, it's a lot more work.
It's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. It looks good. I like the fact it still has like the cool vibes and art style that was Persona 5, if you will, with the transitions of menus and this very aesthetically pleasing. But it's very early on, and like I said, it's all the main guys who worked on Persona doing this new game.
I give myself a 70% chance of playing it right now.
Yeah, it's looking good. Put it that way. Let's ask Andy. I'm gonna switch to Andy. Clockwork Revolution, Andy. Did we see this one?
I did, yeah.
How much do you like BioShock Infinite is my next question.
I was gonna say, yeah. It's very... I mean, I like... Well, that's why I was kind of like, ooh, it's like, I like that aesthetic a lot.
Right.
That was like one of the best things about Infinite was like the going from the sea, like being like, oh, let's see what else we can do. Oh, the sky. Oh, wow. You know, it's a really convincing kind of world, and taking like a specific period of like, I guess, American culture and like, putting it in some random like science fiction-y place.
Is BioShock the one with the Big Daddies?
It is the one with the Big Daddies.
It's a different game, but it's the same universe, question mark.
Yeah.
They're big and scary.
Big Daddies and their drills. Yeah.
Their drills. Go to our TikToks, folks, to check out the video.
This one, BioShock Infinite had like Uncle Sam's. Like Right.
I guess those were. I guess those were the big daddies. Despite I thought it was technically the other guys, but more I think about. No, you're right. There was the other big, ugly guys with the big hands.
Yeah.
But no, I think the Uncle Sans were more the big daddies.
They could both sort of.
I guess you could argue for either one.
Yeah, but I mean, I looked at it. I looked at that game because I was like, oh, this is that aesthetic. But then I was just like looking at it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if it does really well, like if it's
BioShock Infinite done well, then all right, maybe. Because like you said, the world of BioShock Infinite is interesting. Mm-hmm. The gameplay and then the story of BioShock Infinite, not so much.
Yeah.
I like to point out once again, I was one of the few people on day one going, this game's not that great as everyone's making it out to be. And now as time has passed, everyone goes, oh, BioShock sucks balls. I'm like, where the fuck were you guys at? Where were you guys? None of you guys were out there. Yeah. I was the only guy on the internet going, this game blows. What are you talking about? There you go. It's not too late to punch that BioShock Infinite one more time. But hey, if you're a Game Pass member, it's going to be on Game Pass. And then last thing from the Xbox Game Show, for those who are interested in all these games we just talked about, you can pick up an Xbox Series S Carbon Black Edition for $350 on September 1st for $350. The bonus, it's 1 terabyte versus 500 gigs. For those who don't have a 4K TV and are interested in Game Pass, it makes sense. I'll say that. For those who have 4K and like OLED, your LG C2 TVs, you might want to cover the money for the Series X, in my opinion, because that's what I have, and it's pretty nice on there. All right. Maybe we should more rapid fire, perhaps?
Sure.
PC gaming shows. PC fans rejoice. I don't even know what this first game is anymore. Everything's a blur now. New Valis. Oh, this is just Cyberpunk. Story-driven Cyberpunk. Hey, you like Cyberpunk? Check out this one, I guess. PC only. Mariachi Legends. Castlevania fans rejoice. / Metroidvania fans. It's got that art aesthetic more of Castlevania, with I guess a Mexican twist, ? Right up my alley, fitting for this podcast. Clashing of two cultures. 2024, that one actually does look good. I do want to, give it a little bit more praise. That one's definitely on top of my list. Partial Corpse. For those who remember did anyone remember the arcade classic Paperboy? Is it just me?
No.
It was definitely, I feel like you had more of an affinity.
I have,
it.
yes.
I remember you would talk about it and I'd be like, I've never played Paperboy.
I played a lot of arcade. My folks were into the arcade and they taught me the way of the arcade. And I remember Paperboy, and this is basically a kind of new version reimagining of basically Paperboy without calling it Paperboy. It's coming out on the major consoles as well as PC. It looks fun, arcadey, silly goodness. Then the next one I have here is Diesel Legacy. This is the weird fight. Like, what if someone tried to make... Does everyone know what Final Fight is?
Yeah.
Or Streets of Rage? Yes.
Yeah.
But we make it into like a real competitive fighting game. I don't know how that works.
Like Street Fighter?
Like Street Fighter, kind of. Basically, it's 2-on-2, but it's not, like Marvel vs. Capcom. It's like Streets of Rage.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it, but the way you're describing it, it's kind of piquing my interest.
So yeah, it's coming on all the major consoles and Switch later on apparently. But it just seemed interesting as a casual fighting fan, which boy, Street Fighter 6 sure looks good, and I wish to get to it sometime this year, but I don't know when. I was just curious if like they're swinging for the fences. I don't know if it's gonna land or not, but credit was due, and they're trying something different, and I'm curious to see if it'll work out. I don't know. And that is it for the PC gaming show. Ubisoft. I know everyone's my first question before getting is, has anyone played the Assassin's Creed games?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say how far did you get to, Andy?
I stopped after after the second Brotherhood.
Oh, Brotherhood. Well, then you did the right path.
Yeah, I heard it was like 3 was bad, and then they kind of retconned everything with Black Flag. But Black Flag was actually like okay.
Black Flag was good. I'll say that. Black Flag was good.
And they like restarted like that story with Desmond or whatever.
The real world stuff. So yeah, after 3, the whole real world plot, they just said, let's just forget about that shit. And basically ever since then, and I've been out of the loop for Assassin's Creed games for a while too. But they just said, let's not talk about all that shit. Let's just focus on the past and do past shenanigans depending on what setting you're in. So that's what I'm going to talk about. But before that, Prince of Persia fans rejoice. There's a new game.
I always wanted to.
I know if Miles was here, he would be happy and excited with me because there's a new one called The Lost Crown. It's more of a traditional Prince of Persia versus Sands of Time where it's 2D, a 2.5. There was that remake that came out, I think, on the Xbox Arcade. It kind of reminds me of that. but more combat focus. I feel like maybe Frank might be into it, perhaps, with this one. I don't know. But
maybe.
It's got the 2D aesthetic with, decent combat, so that looks good. There's the Assassin's Creed VR Nexus that's coming out on Quest this year. I'm just curious because I don't know how you translate AAA games into VR, but this looks like to be one of the first ones to try to do it. So I am curious, and apparently you play as Ezio from the second game, Connor from the third game, and then the lady from Odyssey. I think that's what that one's called. So I don't know how they explain the story of that, but okay, that's happening. And then there's the other one, the Mirage, which is the real Assassin's Creed game, I guess, for your major consoles and PC. That's coming out on October 12th this year. And it's a return to form where it's more like Assassin's Creed 1, which you've also played, Andy? Question mark?
Yeah, I played 1 too.
How do you like 1? A lot of people don't like 1 anymore.
I liked it at the time.
Right.
I feel like, looking back, I can probably see I liked it then, but I can see how it maybe didn't age well now.
Okay.
So I remember the sword fights being very like...
Oh, the sword fight.
It was just like wait
to counter. Wait to counter.
It was like that was literally
really
every
bad.
fight.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because what I liked about that one was the more of like you had to like do a lot of it like setups for the assassination part, which I feel like in the later games just like I don't know, just stab this fool and then run away.
Yeah. That's true.
So supposedly this is going to be more like the first game where it's more like you're going to like do research and then you have like an exit plan after you do the hit and get out of there. So I'm a little excited because I do have fond memories of the first game more than most.
They're good.
So I'm curious to see how that does. And then I'll hear maybe this is the one I wake up at the whole crowd here on the podcast. Star Wars Outlaws. Gentlemen, how do we feel about a new Star Wars game out there that's all 3D, new characters, I think it's after Return of the Jedi, question mark? So, it has to be, right? I think.
Yeah, like everything is now.
Yeah, right.
Almost.
I forget. They explain where it is in the timeline. But anyway.
Or most things.
But how do we feel? No Jedis. Are we okay with no Jedis, folks? No lightsabers.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I was thinking about that. Like, I don't know. I was because I saw it. I'm like, it's cool, but isn't everybody just gonna want to be a Jedi? I was thinking.
But I like that it's almost like you're being the Han Solo of the universe, which is kind of cool to me. Like getting like into kind of trouble like Han would. Like, oh shoot, I trying to like get my money here, and then you guys like
I think
it all went sideways.
It went sideways. Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like Tomb Raider in space.
Yeah, that's cool.
I can kind of see that.
That's what I think it's gonna be like.
I'd be okay with that, I suppose, if we have to make that comparison. I like the Tomb Raider.
It's gonna be like the Star Wars version of Uncharted.
Oh, interesting.
Now they say Uncharted. That makes more sense.
That would
to
be
me.
Yeah, that would be.
Because from that trailer,
I would like that.
Yeah, it did have a lot of Uncharted, and it was just like Uncharted. Everything goes sideways half the time, and he makes jokes about like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're jumping out of a plane in midair and all this and that.
Makes me think about what was that Star Wars game that's like Dark Souls. So it's like that's like Star Wars Dark Souls.
Oh, the last what is it called?
Fallen Jedi.
Yeah, it's like
Jedi.
the mouthful of a name.
Yeah. So that's like their Dark Souls, and like this is gonna be like they're being Star Wars. They're Uncharted, so they'll like take all these properties.
When I saw the video and it was like finally an open world Star Wars, and I'm like, wait, isn't Fallen Order? I was thinking.
I mean, it's like semi-open.
Yeah.
They kind of give you options, but you're kind of stuck on these certain paths.
I feel like it's gonna be sort of the same way, with more freedom. It looks like you can go around more wherever you want. But I'm guessing it's gonna have a story, so
right.
Breath of the Wild style, like do the story if you want, or you can do whatever.
Right, go hang on the galaxy with all them evil people and
yeah. I'm interested in it. Like the Persona like game, I want to play it, but if it comes out at a bad spot for me,
right,
I might skip it. It's just like I'm not picky. It's just that I have limited time and I have a list of
working.
I have a list of priority of games that I'll play those first, and then what game were we talking about earlier that I was like I'm not really interested.
Most of these games,
like the mariachi one, like I'll play those indie style games and play them if I have the time.
Right.
It's just like so. This one, it looks pretty good for me.
Okay, well that's it. I'll take it.
It's up my alley.
Yeah, I'm as a very casual Star Wars fan now these days. It's like I said, Andy. I like Han Solo and less Jedi's probably the better. I feel at this point, so I think we're okay in that regard. What's else? The Capcom Showcase. So let's see what I got here. Mega Man X Dive Offline. I don't know how to feel about this.
What a name.
So apparently, so here's the thing, and I was very confused, and once again I had to Google it off, after this showcase thing. So Mega Man X Dive was a mobile game that came out that I guess has full of microtransaction ? And apparently it didn't do too well, and they're unplugging it apparently in September. But apparently they're gonna redo this game and assets and kind of revamp it, thus the offline name. I guess they're gonna charge a price for it. It's not gonna be free to play ? I don't know. I couldn't find the answer to that one. But this is still a mobile game focus, but also is gonna come to PC, which I think the online version also came to PC. But anyway, so it plays like a Mega Man X game, kind of, but like a mini version of it. But apparently in this offline version, they're gonna throw like Mega Man EXE and then Mega Man Legends character. Like it's more like a Mega Man universe crossover thing, fan fiction nonsense. So I don't know how to feel about it. It's Mega Man. I like Mega Man. And it's on the phone, which I won't play, but it's coming to Steam, I believe. So if it's on Steam and if it's cheap enough, maybe I'll check it out. Comes out later this year, supposedly. There's Pragmata, the game. If you're a PS5 fan, they showed this early on, and it kind of looks like, well, early on, my assumed it was like a Dead Space, because you're in space. There's this like sci-fi world where I guess you're helping this little girl who may be a little girl or some kind of futuristic robot girl. I don't know. But it's been this mysterious game that's supposed to show off the high tech of the PS5, and they showed it. It still exists, but it's getting pushed back until who knows when, basically, at the end of the trailer. So I guess don't be too excited about it, folks.
If you told like a random person, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it looks like a Kojima game in a lot of ways.
Bit, yeah.
Like I was like, oh, this like whole like vibe. Maybe it's like a little more like less mysterious, but it feels like a Kojima game. Like just like the characters.
Yeah, the character situation. Yeah, it just seemed like if like it's like a story of Kojima, and I remember now the gameplay made me think of Vanquish. If anyone's played Vanquish, yeah, that was a Platinum game. If anyone knows who what Platinum games are, so yeah, similar vein. So that's happening. Ghost Trick. This is an old DS game, which is a very good game. I've only dabbled in it. I never finished it, but it's a really good game. It's the same maker of Ace Attorney. So Ace Attorney fans, if you've missed out Ghost Trick, now's the time. This comes out at the end of this month. This comes out on all the major consoles on June 30th, so you should check it out. Speaking about Ace Attorney, I've talked about it before on the podcast, and it's finally happened. We made it happen once again here on Taco Otaku. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy is finally coming out in early next year on all the major consoles. So this is the combination of Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6, which will be the first time you can play all those games on your major console versus playing it on like the DS or 3DS. And or your iPhone, iPad. So they're all, well, 5 and 6 are great games. 4 is all right. 4 is okay. But it's 5 and 6 so good, it's worth picking up for that alone. And then I have other things, but I'll just make it quick. So this thing this morning, upload VR. So VR fans, rejoice. I'm going to keep saying this all this episode. I expect you to die. 3. I don't know if no one's played VR games, let alone this game, I imagine.
No.
But it's basically a James Bond parody where you find yourself in a pickle and you have to solve your way. It's kind of like a funny puzzle game.
That's cool.
So it's very funny. I played the first game. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And now apparently there's the third one. And I haven't played the second one. So I got a lot of catching up to do. And the other one that caught my eye is Pixel Ripped 1978. Apparently it's a kind of a sequel to some other game I'm not familiar with. But the interesting thing about this game I saw in the trailer, it's like a VR arcade experience, but it's actually based on real Atari properties.
Oh.
Which I was like, oh, because they're not like Atari likes. It's legit Atari. And I'm kind of curious because I'm a big of a historian buff when it comes to video game history. And it's kind of interesting twist. It's kind of like Tron. It's like, oh, you're stuck in the game and you got to like beat these certain classic Atari games. So it's like a mini game Tron thing. So it's like
Pixel, but doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're kind of like, I guess fixing the games ? In a Tron-like aesthetic VR setting. So yeah, that looked really good. And the last one, I only mentioned this because it comes out soon, and maybe I could sell it to Andy to apparently buy a PS5 with a PlayStation VR 2 headset. It's only $1,000 plus, Andy. It's a deal. But as a Metal Gear Solid fan, maybe you'll enjoy Synapse because it looks like a decent action VR shooter. But the real reason I wrote it down is because it has Solid Snake and Naomi chit-chatting with each other, trying to trick you and shoot up the world in glorious, cool John Wick fashion, perhaps.
There's a Metal Gear tie-in?
It's not it's just the voice actors.
Oh.
But they're obviously aware, these are these voice actors and they're famous for these characters.
Wait,
so let's get
David Hayter and the voice actor for Naomi?
Yes.
Oh.
Which I forget her.
I don't remember.
Jennifer Hale.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Femchef. AKA
Wow.
Black Cat from the Spider-Man 90s cartoon. I'm old. I remember. I know a lot of voice actors. Can you tell I like cartoons and anime? All right, and after the 3-hour news podcast we just had, that is it for everything that occurred in the last week or so. There was a lot of... For now, no E3. It sure felt like there was an E3 this year.
Yeah, that wasn't even everything, and that was a lot.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, and I edited a lot of things that I was... Old strategy, MMOs erased, fantasy settings erased, didn't exist. Unless they were growing crops in anime stick, then maybe it made the cut. That's it for me this week. Thank God for that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the few games that I saw that I like.
You saw what you...
I don't need
We got Final Fantasy, Frank.
Oh.
That's all you need. Final Fantasy and Persona was a great year for Frank.
I wanted Tomb Raider, but I guess we got the
Star Wars.
We got Star Wars. What about you, Andy? What did you see that you were most excited about? Was there anything, or was it just a...
No, honestly, if I'm gonna be upfront for real, I probably won't play any of these things.
All right.
It'll probably... I mean, I'm such a sucker for, like, what I like, so, like, it's gonna have to be, like the Zelda game, I'm eating this shit up. And then in between any major release, I usually kind of go back to something that, like, I go to the backlog, really. And I guess I'm very picky about new releases. So I think the next new release probably going to be Death Stranding 2, if I'm, like, being honest with myself.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, if it's not like, and I'm such, like, a freaking Nintendo freaking fanboy, but if it's not like Mario, Zelda, or Metroid or something like that, I'm usually kind of like, I'll think about it. But, like, if it's like Kojima, I'm also on board for that. But I guess I can't really think of anything else that I would be like, I need it that day, like I am with Zelda or whatever. Even though I mean, obviously I didn't get, like, I was very slow on Metroid, but I eventually did get to, like, all those things that I wanted to do. And then I usually just kind of play like after, I mean, this has nothing to do with the news because I'm probably not gonna play. Yeah, probably not gonna play many of those. I bought Portal and Portal 2 on the Switch. So I'm like, I'm gonna play those games.
What is wrong with you, Andy?
I'm gonna play those games. I haven't played Portal 2 since we played, like, 15 years ago.
You have a computer.
No, I know, but I can't think of, like, I was playing
Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't want to talk about Fortnite.
Are we gonna get Optimus Prime? Next question.
I don't care. I'm so tired of Fortnite. That's all my family plays, like Fortnite. I'm like, oh my god, play something that's not a baby game.
This is a baby game.
Yeah, I said it here, folks. Fortnite's a baby game.
Goo goo gaga. That's when you turn on the headset. Goo goo gaga.
Goo goo gaga. Do you like Fortnite, Frank?
No.
Thank you.
That's why we get along here.
I'm so sick of that frickin' game. Oh my god, I liked it for like an hour, and then I'm like, I'm over this.
That's how I feel about FIFA.
One of the few out there.
Now we should talk about sports games. How about that? I wouldn't have too much to say.
Welcome to the Hate Cast. Your favorite games suck.
But don't you like baseball games?
Not too much.
No.
Not too much. Once in a while when I have the time, almost like Frank has been saying, it's like, if I have the time, yeah, I'd be tempted to, but like, that's not.
Or like a basketball? No,
I don't like sports games. I like sports, but not.
You can't bet on those games.
No. Oh, I mean, I like playing games in person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That also was always my plan. Well, I'll just do this. Going to Hyrule a little bit harder.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit harder.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'll play Final Fantasy Rebirth. We didn't talk about it, but 16.
Oh, 16, yeah.
I want to play that 30XX and I guess 20XX.
All the Mega Mans.
The Persona Tactics game, the Persona 3 remake, the game that looks like Persona / Shin Megami Tensei.
Right.
What else? The Star Wars game.
Sorry to break in. That is actually that. If it's like
I have to choose one, that's the one.
That feel like that. Although I didn't play Fallen Order, I would probably. I don't know. I think I'm tired of the Jedi stuff, so this is sort of refreshing to me. But that's my.
You know what? I had it in my mind, and some like I wanted to say, I'm like something about like we need to see something other than Jedi. But I'm guessing in this game there's not gonna be any Jedi, right? And that's how people are gonna like not miss them,
right?
But I wish there was a way to. I don't know if this is a proper way to say it, power scale everybody else to equal Jedis more, because there needs to be. There's so many characters that are not Jedis, but when you make a game, everybody's just gonna want to use Jedi because it's like that's the top.
Right.
So I wish there was a thing that they could do that like makes like, okay, you pick this character and it's gonna be is something that equals
right,
or that would make someone want to use non-Jedis in a world where Jedis exist. And I think that's part of a problem with Star Wars.
I could kind of see that, yeah. Because once you enter Jedi, there's got to be more Jedis or Sith.
Like even watching the movies is like, when are the Jedis gonna come out? Because
the whole movies are all these magical monks showing up to save the day, even despite you would argue in the prequels they're like the worst people of all time.
I don't know how to fix it, but I wish there was something that made those other characters stand out. So that's kind of a problem, but I don't know.
There you go.
It's kind of what Andy reminded me of right now. Like, tired of Jedi. Like, not tired of them. I just.
Well, I mean, I
take
guess
a back seat,
like,
old man.
I think that's why I liked Andor a lot too. It was like, seeing the universe from a different perspective, and I think a little bit of Mandalorian too.
Right before all that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it leaned into it pretty well. I think for what it could have been way worse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, obviously they took it too far, and it's kind of spoiled now, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think they're gonna fix that next time.
Yeah, so
I hope, fingers crossed.
And then I remember you were kind of alluding to that, so I'm like, should I watch 3?
It's all right if you just skip it. I'll tell you that.
What if I just watch?
Unless you really care about certain characters.
We've never talked about it, but Mandalorian. You talking about that?
Mandalorian.
I was talking to my friend and she was like, "Watch it." I watched it. I'm like, "What'd you think?" I'm like, "Well, there's kind of too many Mandalorians." and then she's like, "Oh, I like that. It was my favorite season so far." I'm like, "Well, I did like some parts, but it was just like, for me, the season 1 was good because it felt like an old western and stuff like that. And then now it's like too much, too like, whoa,
too many storylines, too many people.
Like
next thing we'll know, Frieza and Goku are gonna be like fighting.
Yeah. It lost its simplicity.
Yeah, that's true. That's
it definitely
true.
lost its simplicity.
That's and hilarious. I think that's something. Did we talk about it last time? We were talking about Spider-Man and how I like it because of
you see his daily life.
The daily life is interesting to me. It's not just like the superhero aspect of it. So that's what I think it is.
Well, there you go. I think that's gonna wrap us up, Andy.
Yeah.
Didn't you want to say?
All right.
Oh yeah.
I guess okay. I'm stealing. Get out of the way, Andy. Time for the real host to show up. So as once again, podcast producer hat coming on. So for those I forgot to mention last week. So we talked about previously for our anime season this summer, we had the fans vote our choices out of the 4 different choices of our second choices. We did a couple episodes ago. Look it up on the catalog on the device you listen to. But spoiler alert, the winner out of those 4 choices was Skip to Loafer, Skip and Loafer, depending on Japanese or English name. It's another high school cute comedy romance ? I saw a little bit of it. Hopefully it'll live up to the hype, but that is going to be our 5th choice. And then speaking of which, the anime summer season, potentially, I'm not 100% sure, but most likely, if you've been waiting for our full reviews, that'll be our next episode where we'll break down 2 shows. Hopefully we'll have Ivan and Miles join us, and we'll do it just like last time, and talk about them, full spoilers discussion. So if you've been watching the shows, or you're a little behind, now's your time to catch up. So by the time we come out, you'll be done, it'll be catch up. You can enjoy our spoiler talk. So we'll look forward to that, anime fans, and then we'll do it again for the next episode. So what we got? Skip to Loafer. Let's see. Skip to Loafer. Assignments after school, after dark, which my choice. Frank picked. Oh, you picked the Relena, right? Relena.
Why Reliana ended up at the Duke's match?
They're anime titles. You gotta love them. And Miles is Galaxy Next Door, I think.
Yeah.
So look forward to those. That's what we're going to talk about. So look forward to those. And
Ivan's, I don't know what his is.
Ivan was the idol Oshinoko, the very popular Oshinoko, everyone's diehard favorites from this season. So we'll see if that can live up to the hype along with all of those shows. So anime fans, look forward to that in the next few weeks here on Taco Otaku.
Do you know which 2 we're going to talk about?
I do not know. I will look up. I'll probably post it on Twitter and our social medias. So if you got to know which ones we're going to cover first, I'll let you know on the social media. So go to our website, www.tacotaku.com, and all their social medias and where you can listen to the podcast, which is pretty much everywhere on the internet. You can find the stuff there on the website. So go there and we'll catch up with you next time? ? Something like that. That's how it works, podcast. Back to Andy. Andy, any final words for you, Andy?
No, I want to just I guess I'll just wrap it up from here. I want to thank you all for. I don't know. I'm just the guest host, but it was great to talk to you both.
Are you thanking us or are you thanking the audience?
Oh, that's a good question.
Why not both?
It's it's both. It's both. It's to the audience.
I don't know if I'm gonna say you're welcome or like, jeez.
Frank and Ray.
Thanking me.
How rude.
So thank you. Thanks for talking. Thanks for listening. And that's it for Taco Otaku. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me.